Miami Hurricanes and Inter Miami.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
An Odyssey station.
If Love and Gogi is wrong, I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still on the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof, like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You don't know what is a star, like another city, the driver's side fly. Wish I could large, so many more, 10 in the more, never a bar, 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as could be. You can watch us on YouTube with room for French. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Hope all you show ponies are ready to gallop today.
Hey, Marcos.
Hey, Marcos.
Hello, governor.
How was London?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, good. That Adele.
Something, huh?
Still mailing it in.
Are they still got the king and queen over there? Like, what's going on?
Actually, they're still doing the queen's funeral. Still going on.
Really? Oh, that's
making her rounds.
I don't feel like people make a big deal out of this. Is he King Frank? What's this guy's name?
The new king of England.
Yeah, new king of England. What's his name? He's not
Charles the Third.
I don't feel like he's getting as much rub as the queen did, you know?
That's true. I don't know. The queen got more respect than this guy. I didn't even know until you brought it up.
Keep in mind, she was the queen since like 1930 something.
Yeah, when it wasn't weird to have queens. It was still fashionable to have royalty.
Well, they were the last of the, right?
I guess
that's it.
They certainly acted like it because, I mean, as Marco said, they took like a long time to bury the old broad.
Whoa, jeez!
What?
I'm gonna go back with $1 not necessarily.
Well, wow, too much.
What? You're right. I should have gone old bag.
Oh,
my!
Wait a minute.
God.
You know, she was damn near the same age as Judge Judy.
Nah, that's not true. That's not
No
true.
way.
Way more life to
Judge Judy.
to Judge Judy. Come on now. Anyway, let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Miami Dolphins about to embark on a joint practice today and tomorrow with the Atlanta Falcons. So they get not to hit their own teammates. They get to do something against an opponent who they will face Friday in their first preseason game.
I've had a change of heart.
Okay.
So I was listening to Jet Up.
Oh, geez.
And, there was a valid point made that a lot of the reasons why a lot of the starters don't play in preseason is because of these joint practices where you can get the competition in against someone else in a controlled environment so nobody gets hurt.
Mm.
And that mostly goes for your quarterback. So from that standpoint, how much Tua plays or how much Aaron Rodgers plays or any of the other quarterbacks, I'm really not too concerned whether they play or not because they're getting their work in probably a better situation during these joint practices. So if you notice, more teams are doing these joint practices and not playing their players in the preseason game. They're using that opportunity to see who's going to make the team or who's going to back up the quarterback or at any position that you have questions about. What they do during practice probably your starter or your QB1 is going to take most of the reps in these joint practices so that he gets the live action there, but in a controlled environment so nobody sacks him.
Are you changing your status though? I feel like you've kind of always been with this. I don't.
I am. I always thought that you need to get some live action in. One of the things for a running back is that there's a big difference in getting thudded up in practice and getting tackled, right? When you're only going to get hit up high or you're only going to get thudded up or just bumped up, not taken to the ground, you can, just protect. But when it's coming from everywhere, you need to know how to absorb it, how to get your body ready for that contact. As a running back, you can't do that unless you're being tackled. We always, beginning of the year, we always had problems with nobody knows how to tackle.
Right.
Because you're not tackling.
Also, what's legal to do anymore? I mean, like Jaelan Phillips breathes on a quarterback and it's a penalty.
Oh no, you got to do the swan.
You don't know.
He
did that. He did that. That was still a penalty.
He did the swan. I look up at the official. You got us embarrassing ourselves out here.
It's embarrassing.
You really do.
The Marlins lost to the Reds yesterday, 5-2. So that record remains really great. Eury Perez, he went 4 2/3 innings and gave up 4 runs, struck out 7. So it was good to know that they didn't kill his momentum at all, sending him to Pensacola. Congratulations.
You mind turn on a light?
Yeah, J-Fig, what are you doing? Are you afraid of the dark?
No, I'm not actually. Why would I be sitting here in peace?
I don't know. It's just like we didn't think anything could get darker than the J-Fig dungeon, but somehow you right now are topping that by coming in as silhouette.
It's crazy. She does have a ring light on her too. Just
Does
maybe
she?
the soul absorbs all the light. That's what it is.
Dude.
That's true.
Anyway, so the Marlins lost yesterday. Eury Perez, congratulations on killing his momentum, Marlins.
Oh, I knew. See, here's what I came into thinking, because I watched the game, and we were texting back and forth, and I said, if he throws 8 shutout innings, you will be insufferable tomorrow.
Yep.
But he didn't.
Right.
And your twist on it is you ruined his heater.
Yeah. It's like the number 1 rule in baseball. Everybody knows you don't mess with a winning streak. And they get what they deserve. And, I can't wait personally for the spin to be, listen, we were right there until, we had to, hold back Eury last year. It'll be a thing. It'll be a thing. Trust me.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
It's not the fact that they can't hit for nothing now, all of a sudden?
Yep. It won't be. Nope.
Because that seems to be the more pressing issue.
It's not great. It's not great. In
fact, in the series before, previous series, I think they left 36 men on base.
Yep, they only got 2 solo shots yesterday. You get somebody on base, they can't drive them in. It's terrible. So
and they had a little thing going in I think the 7th inning.
Yep,
2 men on, no outs. Is right.
Speaking of baseball, Tim Anderson suspended 6 games for his role in getting knocked out. Jose Ramirez 3 games.
Hey, can you imagine? You pick a fight with somebody, you put your dukes up, you get knocked out, and you get the bigger suspension.
Twice the suspension.
Twice the suspension. You want some of this old man?
Yep.
No. That's
Pretty
what
crazy.
his answer should have been.
Pretty crazy. So there you feel bad for Tim Anderson there. But what are you gonna do? Lions signed Teddy Bridgewater. So shout out to Teddy. He's found a home.
I know something
What?
They put a list and just put the top 10 quarterbacks up.
For what? Who did this?
For the top 100 players. So they just put the top 10 quarterbacks up.
Okay. All right.
And they didn't even talk about Tua, but they railed about one issue.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins was above Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought people would have.
Aaron Rodgers was like 8th, and I think Kirk Cousins was 7th.
The one that I thought was surprising is they had Justin Fields above Trevor Lawrence. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
I thought that
There's
was a little. I thought that
there's
was a little bit
another one.
strange.
Another one. But yeah, only one player in top 10 on our team. That's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
He was number 7 overall.
He was 7. The Chiefs had 3 guys in the top 10.
And Jamar Chase was second, I want to say. Yeah.
No, Justin Jefferson was second.
Justin Jefferson, sorry.
Justin Jefferson was second. Tyreek Hill was the second highest ranked wide receiver. It went number 1, Patrick Mahomes, number 2, Justin Jefferson, number 3, Jalen Hurts, Nick Bosa at 4, Travis Kelce at 5, Joe Burrow at 6, Tyreek Hill, overrated Josh Allen at 8, Micah Parsons, and Chris Jones.
So let me point something out here before everybody. Joe Burrow has one of the more serious, not serious injuries that there is out there. Because I'll take it to basketball. Every time you hear the word calf strain, it ended up being a torn Achilles. Right. Remember, that's how Durant started.
Yeah.
He took some time off for a calf injury, came back, torn Achilles. Right? That's all connected there. It all goes back to it's all the tendon down there. So I'm very, if you're a Bengals fan, you should be very worried about the timeline of when he comes back and how that reacts when he gets back. Because that has been the precursor to a more serious injury.
Right.
And we just look at it as a calf injury and we take it lightly. But I'm telling you, all the guys that I remember starting off with a calf strain ended up having some type of Achilles injury.
Definitely a scary thing to check out.
Yes.
We'll take a quick break. We'll get back into the Dolphins coming on up as they'll embark on the field today. Juan Pierre going to join us later on this hour.
Hey.
He's going to be out there on Friday for Marlins and Yankees. Marlins celebrating their World Series.
I got a little something for us.
Leroy will tell you about that coming on up. But JP going to join us later on this hour. I always love talking to the legend Juan Pierre. Take a quick break. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 o'clock here on the program today. Miami Dolphins heading out on the practice field as we speak, getting ready to take on the Atlanta Falcons. They will take them on in preseason action on Friday. But as Leroy was mentioning, more likely than not that you're probably going to get more information, more excitement, more evaluation maybe out of these next 2 days than you will on Friday. Although, should be pointed out, a couple of injury notes. Teron Armstead, not injured, just being held out, according to Mike McDaniel. He'll be out there tomorrow. So obviously they're being extra cautious with their star left tackle. Not a surprise there. You don't want anything getting him out and hurting him. Devon Achane and Eric Azukama back on the practice field today as they've been banged up a little bit. So that is exciting. I'm seeing Omar Kelly tweet out, who will be doing the pregame with me in Solana coming up on Friday. 5 o'clock is, I believe, our start time for that. So we'll have a 5 to 7 pregame show coming up on Friday. Omar tweeting out, we do not have Tyreek Hill at practice right now. So no sign of the cheetah, according to Omar. So we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe he is also just getting a vet day off and seeing what they can get out of that. But that is there you go. No Teron Armstead and apparently no Tyreek Hill so far. We, of course, know that the Dolphins dealing with the Jalen Ramsey injury. He is off crutches. We'll hear a little bit from Mike McDaniel here in a second on that and where things stand with his star cornerback and the development there. But look, joint practices, one thing you always got to watch out for, kerfuffles, dude. You never know who's going to get a little too froggy when it comes to these things. Kerfuffles are a big thing, dude, and you can't go out here and just ignore it.
In our joint practices, was that last year or the year before?
Marcus, were you muted that entire time, dude?
Have I been muted that entire time?
I'm just curious. I just saw his mouth not moving, and I was just curious, like, were you muted that entire time? Did I just speak and nobody heard anything I said?
No, we heard you.
Okay.
Oh, well, actually, no.
Did anyone? The chat will let us know. No one has
said anything. Yeah.
I was gonna say the chat will let us know 100%.
I guess I guess they can still hear me because I'm not tied to your board. But yeah, you were muted there.
All right, I was asking. We had Philly last year, didn't we? That was who we had. Yeah,
you had Philly. But remember, there was only one joint practice because there was like a quick turnaround, and then they canceled a day, so we didn't really get 2 joint practices. The plan is here they're actually going to get 2 joint practices and see what you get there.
Well, if that's in any indication, last year we dominated Philly, and they were the Super Bowl runner-ups. So I think it's safe to say, had we stayed healthy all year, Super Bowl.
Well, listen, you I know you say that tongue in cheek, but like I mean, it's one of those things where you looked at what the Dolphins did last year and you think, hey, they could do some crazy things. So we'll keep an eye on that. We're going to take a quick break. Juan Pierre, legend, he is going to join us coming up next.
Drums, please.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 o'clock. So we got some exciting stuff coming up on Friday, Leroy. Going to head on out to the ballpark. We're going to watch little Marlins and Yankees. We want you guys to come with us. We're going to bring a bunch of our listeners out. We're going to drink beer, watch baseball, hopefully watch the Marlins, get things right because they've been slumping a little bit lately. But on top of that, some Goosies galore is going to happen because the Marlins are going to be honoring the 2003 World Series team. They're going to have Josh Beckett out there, Jeff Conine, Derek Lee, Mike Lowe, Carl Pavano, and a guy we love having on the show. This guy was maybe one of the coolest guys on the team, Juan Pierre, number 9, center field, joining us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors and one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. JP, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure to come on with you guys.
It's always great having you, JP. Do you anticipate a lot of Goosies and memories coming up on Friday, getting a chance to be with your old teammates and relive the World Series a little bit?
Oh, without a doubt. I always say once you retire, go on different teams and guys stop playing, you're around each other all the time, but everybody, Derek Lee lives in California, Beckett's in you don't ever see guys, you know what I mean? So to come back and the baby to see guys under these circumstances too, to celebrate the 20th anniversary. It'll be a little Goosies going on, I would imagine.
Now, let me ask you this, because I know when I go back and see my former teammates, everybody talk about the seasons we had and accomplishments or whatever. But when we get in the room, we say, hey, remember that time? And the stories are told, they really got nothing to do with baseball. No. Or remember that time we was on the road and you just start telling stories and everybody wondered, man, I bet you they talking about that run.
Without a doubt. Stuff that happens off the field, whether it's at the hotel or whatever, or in the locker room or clubhouse, whatever. Those are the type of memories that you actually remember. Like you actually said, well, what play happened in the 5th inning? Because a lot of times you do this stuff and the reports actually, I'm like, bro, I don't even remember that. You know what I mean? But I remember when we were in Cincinnati and shot basketball or something like that. So those are kind of stuff that probably will creep me more than the actual games that we played.
But that season in particular, like you guys had such a great turnaround in the middle of it. And, coincided with Dontrell and Miggy coming up and you guys getting Jack McKeon. Like, do you remember in particular, like feeling how you were coming out of spring training and when you felt like it really clicked for you guys?
Yeah, without a doubt. Out of spring training, we knew we were a younger team. I mean, the only established player like all-star perennial was Pudge, and everybody else was just trying to, find their way and stuff. So we knew we had a good team. We knew we had good pitching. When you have Beckett, Penny, Pavano, you knew you're going to be in every game. But we got off to such a slow start. And then, here comes the leg kick Dontrell. He boosts the pitching staff, and then Beckett started pitching better. Then we got the young phenom Miguel, and walk-off home run his first at bat. So we're like, okay, wow. Then we had Jack come in. He was a grandpa, but he was because Jeff Teague was a great manager. But the difference was like Jack McKeon would kick you in your rear end when he had to. You know what I mean? That old school, smoking his cigars while walking. I'm like, Jack, how you going to exercise and smoke a cigar like that? To this day, it still gets me. But he would do that. But he got us going. And then we just gelled as a team. And then the series against Boston was probably the defining moment where, like, okay, we might have some. I think we lost like 25-6 the game before that. Then we were down like 8-3, like in the 8th inning. We come back and win that game 9-8 in Boston. And we were like, all right, we might have something here.
Yeah, I remember that there was a series against the Dodgers. You guys had like a couple of crazy walk. I remember Mordecai having a walk-off home run. I had season tickets that year. It was like the amount of walk-off home run shots you guys had. I remember Dontrell's Juan Encarnacion had one on his. Yeah. And everybody knows about the Miggy one, but like you guys just had like that flair for the dramatic last year. And that made it like possible for like in those postseasons where you had the comeback against the Cubs and things like that. Like it must have felt like no matter the situation, once you guys got to the postseason, because you guys had that flair for the dramatic, that you could have handled that.
Yeah, and I'm probably biased to it because I lived it. But man, the run we had, I mean, I don't see too many teams going on a run like that out of nowhere, And like you said, the dramatic. We were playing playoff games from like August on, what I mean, or September on, because the wild card was all jumbled up right there, and you had Mordecai, you had Castro hit a walk off, and yeah, we were prepared for the playoffs. Like we knew we had a good team, even going up against Barry Bonds. We went up against Sammy Sosa and the mighty Yankees, and we felt in every series that we were in every game, like talent for talent, player by player, pitcher by pitcher. We were in every game, and the media never gave us a chance. So Jack did a great job with the media. Say, hey, we don't even supposed to be here. So we played loose. We played like we didn't have the pressure on us, but we went out there and did our thing.
Also, you had so many young players. Nobody had any scar tissue.
Exactly.
That scar tissue get you.
We're just dumb enough to pull it off, If we do it again the next year, we thought too much, we knew what it took. But like we were just dumb enough to, in a sense, to pull it off because we were not scared. Like I remember walking in the Yankee Stadium, we're like, all right, boys, let's go get them. And you look across. And they play before BP, they have the ghosts of, Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth. They play all these clips, and we're like, all right, man, whatever. Like, we about to put it on you guys. And that's what we did. Like, we didn't say it outwardly, but inside, we're like, man, we can post up against these guys.
Isn't it like what made that team so special and so rare is that everybody was so young.
Mm-hmm.
So during the whole course of the season, the whole thought was these guys are young. They gonna break.
They gonna break.
And they gonna break. They're not used to. And then you get to the playoff. This is playoff. This is pennant chasing baseball. These young guys don't know nothing about that. And you're like, we're right. You're right. We don't. We just playing baseball.
We just playing base before the playoff game. We're probably back there shooting basketball or something like that, or Nerf ball or something like before the game. I mean, literally in the playoffs, we were doing the same thing we did during the season. Like it was no different. We're going into San Francisco, Barry Bonds, San Francisco, nothing but orange and black. And we get mollywopped our first game out there too. Yeah. And I know I was personally like so amped. I'm like, I cannot calm down. I think I struck out, like swinging off my knee. I'm like, what am I doing? But Gerald Williams and Lenny Harris, who was veterans on the team, pulled me. I was like, you too hype. I was like, I know, man. Like, I can't come. Yeah, they talked to me, and then, I got back right because, I took the pressure of being the leadoff guy. Like, all right, I'm in control of the offense. Like, if I get going, the offense will get going. So every loss that we had, if we didn't score runs, I always felt like it was my fault. So I wanted to set the tone, and I didn't set a good one that first game. I'm like, all right, next game, I got to set a better tone. And we did, but like you said, exactly. Like we really, like you were walking our clubhouse probably half an hour, 45 minutes before the game. You're like, do these guys got a game today? Like, do they really got a game? I think on the DVD, had guys getting their haircuts, you know what I mean? Like an hour before the game. It was just, we're just young and we pulled for each other, but it was just, and playing after that, I realized how magical that season and the team was because I didn't get it back for the next 12 years.
Right.
Did you?
That happens, man.
JP, like, can you give us craziest Juan Pierre is a workaholic story? Because like the thought of like everybody always said JP always first one to the ballpark. You're rolling the damn balls on the grass to make sure you can bunt it the right way. Like you lived at that place, man. Like why did you have such an obsession of getting there so early to prep for a game?
Because that's what it was. It was preparation. I didn't consider like working hard. I knew like I was a $170, no arm strength, no power, none of these things. But my biggest thing was like, nobody's going to outwork me. You know what I mean? Nobody was going to put in the work I did. And that's how I survived. I mean, you just mentioned like a Derek Lee. These guys are 6'6", you know what I mean? You mentioned Miguel Cabrera. These guys can hit the ball 500 feet. Like I knew I had to do all the small things. I had to pay attention to detail. And that's why I had a career that I had was just, purely I would outwork guys. I had skills and talent and I knew I could run. So I worked on the bunting. I knew I can field. I knew I didn't have a strong arm. So I worked on getting rid of the ball quick. These are things, the first thing they say in baseball is know thyself. Like know what type of player you are. And I knew what type of player I was. And it was just, I wouldn't say obsessed with it, but that was a close thing. But it was.
Yeah, you admit it. You can't say I wasn't and did smile.
Yeah, but it was like having the pressure of like I always felt like I carried the team, and I wasn't a big name guy. Like nobody interviewed me, you know what I mean? After a game, I wasn't that big name guy. But you go, you know, teammate to teammate, they're like, oh, Louis and Juan gets on. Hey, we got to get him off the, you know what I mean? So like pressure
set the tone,
but you know, not media wise. And I always like the dirty work. Like I always love that. Like I'll get on base, still sitting, and the guy knocks me in. They go interview the guy with the RBI. I'm like, all right, great. You can have that shine. I'm just gonna post up every day. As long as I have respect for my teammates, then that's all that matters to me.
Talking to Juan Pierre here on WQAM, and you guys can see JP. He's going to be out there at the Marlins Museum doing some photo ops. Mike Lowell's going to be out there. Jeff Conine, Josh Beckett, a lot of the greats from the 2003 Marlins team. JP, of course, the leadoff man, had the high socks, stealing bases, like just had a complete swag to it. And you like, even like JP, like you mentioned, like you weren't interviewed after games, but like remembering just like you had like the hypest, walk-up song right to start off to the game. Like you really did get the fans amped up. I do feel like the fan base did embrace you because of the type of energy you brought. Like, was that something that you were also conscious of that I don't know, just to get the fans almost involved with the excitement that you played with?
That was the most shocking part of it. Like really, truly, all the time I played on 6 different teams, and no other fans embraced me like the Miami fans did. Like they used to talk about me bunting, and like usually that doesn't even get a take or nothing. But the fans, this is the first place I came where people like wore my jerseys and stuff. I'm like, man, dude, I'll sign it. Like, come down. I don't care if you're in the triple deck. If I saw my jersey, I'm like, bro, come down here. I'll sign it. Ain't too many of them things flying around here and stuff. So the Miami fans really, really embraced my type of style of play. Me and Louis working together, we're, stealing the bases, playing the small ball. And that was the dynamic of our team too. Our power guys, Derek Lee and Canard, those guys stole 20 bases too. Like we had speed and power on our team, but it was definitely fun. And I did take hold of that. Like I still to this day, I'll go somewhere, I'll be in Walmart and somebody be like, JP, we ready? You know what I mean? A walk-up song. I'm like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, I got so much love in Miami, and I'm just trying to be that table setter and not looking for the recognition, but again, the fans in Miami have definitely showed me love and continue to this day. If I'm around town or whatever, we remember the 03 team, you know what I mean? So it's cool to see.
Do you have you been keeping tabs on this year's team at all? Like they got off to such a hot start. They're in a bit of a rut right now. When you're a team kind of going through it, you can't seem to drive guys in key situations. Like what's the best way to get out of something like this, JP? What do you think this secret sauce this team may need to get back on track? Just
keep pushing. There's no secret sauce or nothing. You just keep doing the work that you've been doing all year and just trust in your work. I think we was in September or August, late August in our 03 run. We went on a road trip, I think San Fran, Pittsburgh, and somewhere else. But we went 1-9 on the road trip. And this is like late in the year. And nobody was panicking. I think actually Jeffrey Leroy was flying back from San Francisco to Pittsburgh. And we got swept in San Fran, like just playing bad. So we in the plane and we feel the plane going down. Like, we ain't near Pittsburgh. It's like a 5-hour flight. It's like, oh no, we're stopping in Vegas. I'm like, stopping in Vegas. So we stopped in Vegas for like 3 hours. I don't even gamble. So I had no, I was probably the only one excited that we didn't do it. So we stopped in Vegas for like 3 hours because we had an off day in Pittsburgh. And then we ended up flying to Pittsburgh just to get our minds off of it and, try to play better. And I think we went to Pittsburgh and got swept too. So I don't think.
Hey, trying to shake it up.
Pittsburgh got swept, and all the boys was broke from gambling.
Hey, you supposed to be telling us the turnaround moment.
Yeah, there was no turnaround.
Hey, you gave us the moment where you almost got buried.
Exactly, but things were in our favor because I think we went 1-9 on that road trip. And I think Phillies, which was behind us, they went 0-9, so we picked up a half a game.
Amazing.
Yeah, picked up a half a game on a 1-9 road trip. So, hey, we knew something was working right then, man.
JP, obviously over the weekend, there was a crazy baseball fight Tim Anderson got socked by Jose Ramirez. I feel bad for Tim because he got double the suspension that Jose did. He got 6 games. Jose got 3. What was your reaction to this crazy fight this weekend?
Oh, I was like, man, that's old school baseball. Like, I mean, back even before my time, like you'll see like 2 of those a week back in the day. You know what I mean? Just old school game, guys getting after it a little bit. You know, I don't necessarily condone it because, you know, I got kids and all that stuff now. But, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But the biggest thing with that is seeing who really got your back on the team. Usually that type of stuff can bring a team together and realize, like, hey, we got each other back. We're gonna do whatever. But, yeah, it was a good old-fashioned fight. I don't think we've seen like a punch like that since when was
he was punching for real.
Yeah. Bautista and what was it? Odor.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy one.
So,
connection on a punch. You know, usually makers and guys get in there before even punches get thrown, but that was they squared off. Like
so JP, I was telling Tobin, he ain't got to worry about the suspension. That dude cannot go back into that locker room after starting a fight and getting knocked out.
Yeah, that's
he ain't gonna never leave. He ain't gonna never.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna never live that. Like, he ain't got to worry about the league.
Yeah.
His own team ain't gonna never let him live that down.
Teammates and all around the league, man. Then like now you got social media added to it, so it's yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Definitely starting a fight, but I mean he'll rebound. You know, I love Tim Anderson. I do love his game. I know he gets the bad rap a lot, but I think he's a good dude deep down, and but definitely that was. And unfortunately, that's what leads when we have fights of baseball. You know, it's usually football, basketball, and first take all these shows. Yeah. But baseball get a fight going, and then that'll get everybody talking about stuff.
Is there one either one? I mean, I don't remember you ever getting involved in a fight, like you starting a fight. But is there one you remember either one of your teams getting in, or one that like, or as close as it could get to one of the famous baseball stare downs that you remember, where you thought it was?
I tell you one thing, like I was playing with the Rockies at this point. Well, I just got called up maybe a month in the league, and we was playing the Braves, and this was like Andres Galarraga, Chipper Jones, Andrew, like these dudes, Javi Lo, like these dudes are huge. So we had a pitcher that hit the big cat, Andres Galarraga, and he was staring at him, and he told the big cat, "Hey, get down to first base." And the big cat went after. I had never been in a fight ever on the field, like ever. So I'm in center field. I got Larry walking right. I think Ron Gann in left, so the big cat charges the mound. So I'm like, I don't know what to do here. You know what I mean? I look like
$170. Yeah, that's the big cat.
Yeah, I'm like Larry Walker here, so they throw their gloves down, they take out running. So I throw my glove down, so I'm taking out running. I like to the pile, and these dudes all like 6'4" here. I'm like 5'10", $160 maybe. So I'm like, I ain't getting nowhere near this stuff. So they were like throwing haymakers and breaking up. So I saw like little Rafael Furcal was the shortstop. He like my size. So I'm like, all right, I'll stand by him in case something pop off. I got to get him. But I ain't trying to mess with Chipper and Andrew and all.
Yeah, you stand in your weight class?
Stand in my weight class. But I said, know thyself. You got to know thyself. Like, I wasn't trying to get in with none of these guys, but yeah, that's the bro. I think we had one bro like in 2005 with the Marlins. I think Alex Gonzalez actually fought. We were playing the Phillies, but they broke that one up pretty quick. But nothing like a good old fashioned brawl though. Get the juices flowing, you know what I mean? Break up the monotony, I think.
JP, you're awesome, man. We appreciate all the memories, how hard you worked. I know the fans can't wait to go see you Friday at the Marlins Museum, photo ops with Juan Pierre and a lot of the greats from the 2003 team. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you, man. Anytime you need me on, man, I'm here for you guys.
There you go. Juan Pierre, number 9, center field, 2003 champion. I love that guy, man.
Hey, I like the other stories. Yeah, like, you know, I like, because I told you, like, Tim Anderson, the league ain't got nothing for what his teammates got for him. You can't start a fight and get knocked out.
Do you remember in I think it was the year before the championship. It was I think it was 2000. I don't remember if it was 2001, 2002, but it was remember Cliff Floyd ran into the teal monster, and the next day the team put the chalk outline.
Oh, you know what it used to always happen? When a guy would round third base and fall, and then and he get tagged out, and then the next day they put a chalk line out there. Oh my! But yeah, but listen, you went and the thing that he pointed out was this: you with the same guys for 8-10 hours a day. You with these guys longer than you with your wife, your family, or whatever. At this point during the season, you just coming home to take a nap, right? To get back up and do it again tomorrow. So these guys are family. And when something like that happens, you can do one or two things. You can make fun and have fun with your family, or you can act like you above all that. And so that's when you really find out how close your team was, is that when you had a situation like that, if the guy who the culprit is laughing too, then that's just my brothers, right?
I mean, Jeffrey Lawrence like, boys, we're stopping in Vegas. Still got swept.
Still got swept. That was the funniest part of that interview, is that he said he made a big deal about it. You know what? The planes start going down. Jeffrey Lawrence said, we're going to Vegas. Let's get this out of our system. Let's have some fun, right? We flew on to Pittsburgh, got swept. I'm like, that's not how that's not, but he did say they went 1-9 on the road trip. So you know it didn't go well.
Picked up half a game.
Picked up half a game, though.
Half a game.
Things are going good that year. There was some magic to that year for sure. We appreciate Juan Pierre for joining the show. Take a quick break, get to some Dolphins and the joint practices going on. We'll hear from McCochin. He's got some thoughts on things. Back after this.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of food.
Two other program, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
Yes, sir.
so we have been telling you guys
Mhm.
that we are going to the Yankees game. And because, you know, we like to do things with our people,
Mhm.
we're going to give away some tickets. So you can join us in our area that we have claimed our area. You know where that is? Right around the corner from the private bar.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this speakeasy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Really
it looks like they have it roped off like a club.
Yep.
And you go back there, there's two people, right? So we're gonna give our loyal listeners
Mhm.
some tickets.
All right.
Now we're gonna talk amongst ourselves and figure out the best way to do this. But y'all pay attention because we giving away tickets. What's the day? Tuesday?
Yep.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Do we want to give tickets away on Friday?
I mean,
Or do we want to just do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to give people time to get their stuff together?
I would say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is probably the way to go.
So today, tomorrow, and Thursday, I'm going to reach in my bag and see how many tickets I got.
You got a bag?
I got a bag. A
Ooh.
bag full of tickets. And I don't know how many I'm going to give away, but I'm going to just keep giving them away till they run out.
Wow.
Because that's how we do it.
Ah,
There's no set plan.
wow.
Hell, we might give away.
1 million.
We might give away
No.
Too much.
4 tickets twice a day. 4 tickets once a day. Maybe 4 tickets 3. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But
Lone
I know
Star-
we giving away tickets.
Lone Star wants to know, is your bag a Publix bag?
No. Hey. No. Well, we use Publix bags for poop. So you know how you do it. That's how you save the bag.
The
You
I
poop
know?
get
too.
it.
Me too,
I do the
actually.
same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's
So I don't wanna that is here. That's not a knock on Publix. I got plenty of those.
take
Okay,
a yeah, it's not a knock. You're just trying to be resourceful, dude.
that's right.
All right. So we will give those tickets away. Marlins Yankees on Friday.
Not to mention, we also picked the same night that all of the former world champions are gonna be in the house.
That's yep.
Right? So you come early enough, the gates are opening earlier.
2 hours.
2 hours earlier, you can have a meet and greet with all of the World Series champions.
Did you
I'm
like
just
how
telling you.
Did you like how we got JP to say he got the Goosies?
No, you kind of he never said he got the Goosies. You asked him and he
I-
said yes.
No.
That's different.
He finished it saying he got the Goosies, dude.
Yeah, it'll be a little Goosies going on, I would imagine.
He would
I would
imagine.
imagine.
Speaking of Goosies, another man has admitted Goosies. Get some headlines here brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck in a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Dolphins.
I could talk to that dude for an hour.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys missed Juan
really
Pierre,
was.
yeah, if you guys missed Juan Pierre, check out the Odyssey app, rewind it. He was fantastic. You guys can also go to YouTube and scroll back, and Twitch and scroll back. He was really, really cool.
I love how you take this target in that brawl.
hey, you know what that is? That's calculate right there.
I hated Raphael for a call. It was so annoying.
Yeah, but he was the smallest guy on their team.
Smart. It was a smart move by JP.
Everybody else was giants.
I mentioned last week, I mentioned last hour that Tyreek Hill, it was said that he wasn't on the practice field. He is out on the practice field right now, and he is apparently torching all of the Falcons. Now, it is one-on-ones. I know Leroy said it's the most unfair drill there is.
It is.
It's just Tyreek Hill doing Tyreek Hill stuff.
Don't worry, because I'm willing to bet, right? I'm willing to put down a wager that somebody on the Falcons side of the ball is sending a picture of their wide receiver beating Eli Apple.
It's possible. It's possible. But Mike McDaniel did speak before practice today. And how about this, Leroy? He was asked about Christian Wilkins and the energy that he brings. And it appears Mike McDaniel is also admitting Goosies.
No, so it's one of the reasons it gives me a little goosebumps when I just got them, see? Literal. Because the progression of players and their journey is just why you get into coaching. And that when I first got here, he's always been so coachable. So like he would be his antics were less directed towards the team as they are now. Like when he has enthusiasm, he's bringing his teammates along.
All right. Bringing him along for the ride. Like instead of I like that he admits Goosies.
So far, first 2 hours, we got a Goosies admission in both hours.
Exactly, from two sports.
Let's keep it up.
He also says Christian Wilkins is no longer starting fights with his teammates. Well, bless you,
Leroy.
Here's more McDaniel.
At the beginning, it was more, let's just say it was concerted S-talk. Say I did that myself. I bleeped myself. And it was just more about like being intense. He goes to a place when he plays football that is one of the reasons why he's such a good player is because he sees red and now he's learned how to channel it. It's been awesome to see because it where he was starting maybe some fights my first week here. Now he's setting energy.
Wow.
So I will say this. The energy guy in practice, he don't have to start the fights, but people get annoyed and fight him. So there's a difference.
He plays too much.
Right. Exactly. That's what I told you. That me and John Randall went at it every day because he played too much and he too big. Right? In fact, I ran into him in Vegas a few years ago and Leroy! And he jumped on my back. I'm like, still Johnny? Right? That dude had so much energy. So when I see Christian Wilkins, I play with a guy like that. It's both fun and annoying at the same time. Also, that big guy's fun. He's fun. He brings energy. But when that energy is directed at you and you ain't feeling it, it's annoying.
I like how Mike McDaniel just refers and says, I bleeped myself. Instead of saying I said
he did it
myself.
all by himself.
So now he's a producer.
Pretty much.
Right. Like
I don't know how he had to point it out though.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I got a feeling that drop may be saved for other things though. Just, if you screw up a play call, I bleep myself. All right. So there you go. Mike McDaniel. He's got he's happy Christian Wilkins has honed in his energy and spreads it now to his teammates.
I'm telling you, that type of energy is hard to find in a player that plays that position. It really is. Because you have to understand, those guys, when you're good enough, you get double teamed, chipped, you got bodies around you all the time, and he's still making plays. So to play with that energy, with all the attention that's going to be paid on him, because I'm telling you, when they play other teams, they're going to tell you about, Jaelan Phillips moving up. They're going to tell you about how good Chubb is. But here's how they're going to start. If you don't stop the penetration from Christian Wilkins, you don't have a chance with the other two guys. That's it. That's the game plan for the Miami Dolphins, anybody playing the Miami Dolphins. If you don't stop the energy that Christian Wilkins plays with, it's going to be a long day because now you got to deal with Jaelan Phillips and Chubb on the other side.
Dub.
And
Wow.
And so I think as this D-line goes, so does that defense.
Tua with a nice ball to Raheem Mostert, Leroy.
What are you
7
doing,
on 7.
dude? What are you
I'm
doing?
watching some throws, dude. I'm watching some joint practice throws right now.
Daddy loves you guys.
Puts it on the money, right to Mostert.
It's a 5-yard pass.
No, dude. I'm just watching it right now. That is on the 50. All right. Where does Mostert catch this? Hut, hike. All right.
It's a check down, dude. 5 yards.
Nah, that's a 30-yard pass. In the air. In stride.
We got Mostert going 30 yards.
Dude,
If you put him in the slot, he can run. I mean, it's possible.
They didn't put him in the slot.
Tobin's lying, but
I'm not lying, dude. I'm sending you the throw right now. You're being a jerk. You're being a jerk.
You are
a jerk, dude.
No, because like
yeah, I'll put it right here. Hold on.
Send it to me. I don't.
You don't trust me? I was gonna put it up on the over here. You know,
editing the video.
All right.
I'm not editing the video. I don't have to edit the video because it's a dude. You could find.
Don't put the volume up.
I won't.
All right. I'm happy that we get.
Where's
to watch
Mostert? Is he outside?
Yeah, he's on the outside.
Well, that's why it's a 30-yard pass.
Well, I told you it was. I didn't say where he. I didn't say he was in the slot.
Oh, let me tell you.
Oh, look at that pocket.
Let me tell you. First of all, they put the running back out, and the linebacker went out there to get him. So you already know it's 1-on-1.
I see that linebacker.
Right?
You know what I see when I see him?
Intangibles. So, and look, this is, and I'll just tell you like this. This is one of those things I always tell you about formations and stuff like that, right? Is that all you paying attention to is this. If that linebacker goes outside with the running back and it's 1-on-1, the inside guy controls the safety, right? So he goes outside and draws that safety over just a little bit. It's just a foot race with the linebacker.
Yeah, take it
now
off the
you're
safety
gonna take
valve.
Raheem Mostert over any linebacker. That's what you get. Now, what changes that will be made for the defense is they're gonna keep the corner out there.
You know what they say, dude? You can't fire the gun if the safety's on.
Whoa. Hey, look, I don't know if they say that, but they should if they don't.
Point for Tobin.
Come on.
Dude,
it has all the makings
there. And DJ Khaled, just stop with that. You egg him on. Another one.
You can't imagine.
You egg him on so much because he feels like, ooh, I could keep going down this path.
We'll take a quick break. Speaking of Mike McDaniel, I was delighted hearing this weekend. We didn't get to it yesterday, but the relationship by Fangs and McCochin fascinates me. That's next.
make a big noise.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560. Streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, the channel Miami 560 WQAM.
I got the list
What list?
of guys. I'm going to be there Friday.
Oh.
Ready?
Hmm?
Well, we know JP's going to be there.
So
He already told us.
And he was on with us earlier.
Yes. Josh Beckett. Niner.
Niner works for the team.
Still going to be there. I
gonna
just
be
got
there.
the list, buddy.
Okay.
Okay. Derek Lee.
One of my
Mike
favorites.
Lowe. Carl
Derek-
Pavano.
I think Derek Lee's the most underrated Marlin of all time.
Yes. Along with the catcher. I forget his name. Who's the catcher? The
championship catcher was Pudge.
No, the tall catcher.
Tall catcher. Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson.
Yeah, CJ.
Charles Johnson. He was like one of my, because I couldn't believe how a guy that tall could be catcher.
He was a badass.
And he was, yes, he was.
He was a badass.
Derek
Lee. I think Derek Lee's the best.
Derek Lee was one. Yeah, you're right. The best defensive first baseman.
Best defensive first baseman I've ever seen. And I mean, when he left the Marlins, honestly, was an MVP candidate with the Cubs because he didn't have that giant ass ballpark that he had to deal with.
Oh my goodness!
Because his power, he was a right center power guy, and like that was the deepest part of Marlins Park. Basically, it was where home runs go to die. It really was. So
was that worse than it? What was worse, the hill that you had to run up in Houston, or
that was bad? And then that Bermuda Triangle and at Pro Player. Whoo!
Oh
tough.
my goodness.
Let's get to a training camp report here, which is sponsored by Miami-Dade County Public Schools Technical Colleges. Enroll today in one of their over 60 Miami-Dade County Public Schools Technical Colleges affordable training programs and get fast-tracked to a financially rewarding career in 1 to 2 years. Convenient day and evening classes give you the flexibility you need while you learn. Go to careerinayear.com and get there. Right now, Dolphins having their practice go on as they are joint practicing with the Atlanta Falcons. Tua doing his thing right now. A lot of connections to Tyreek Hill, connections to Robbie Chosen. And, of course, we also have the connection today of Mike McDaniel and OnlyFangs, Vic Fangio. So I'm very fast. Like, I'm jealous. Hard Knock starts tonight. Season premiere for the Jets. I can't wait to tune in and check this out. I'm going to use this material to make fun of them. But if I am a Jets fan, if I'm Vlad, I'm pumped. I would love to watch my team. Like, who doesn't love Hard Knocks? And when that music hits, I mean, it's so good.
You have like 700 artists and instruments, and they all sound the same.
No, it's way different, dude. That's exactly what it's. I can't.
Don't hear it still.
I'm telling you, J-Fig. That's what Hard Knocks sounds like.
Can I just say, you ever thought about doing that thing where they put the wax thing in your ear to clean out the
The silly sauce in your ear?
Yeah.
You think I'm clogged up?
Yeah.
Spot on, dude. Well, one of the reasons I wish that we had Hard Knocks here would be I want to see the dynamic between Fangs and McCochin, because I was listening to Fangs this past week with his hat. And have you seen this hat that he has?
No, is it a bucket hat?
Dude.
Just like a hat.
I gotta get you this hat. I mean, this hat
is a bucket hat.
It's like I don't know. It almost kind of looks like he's a hunter on the outback. Is the way you would describe it?
Wow.
Oh, like one of those big tan hats?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's a coach. I knew a lot of coaches that wore them.
Huh, I'm not sure if this is the one you're referring to, but I don't know what to make of this hat. I don't think I've ever seen a hat like this. Like,
it's usually the coaches that they don't want no sun on their face.
Yeah, or his like neck though. I feel like it kind of droops in the back to block the neck.
Yeah, that's good.
That's an efficient hat.
It's a good thing, guys.
The old hate the sun.
The old do hate. Well, some of them, except like you have a couple of those that.
Intangibles.
You have a couple of those old people that will be crisping themselves out at out on like Deerfield Beach. They'll like have the reflector, trying to make themselves extra crispy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Vic Fangio was asked about, hey, what advice would you give to Mike McDaniel as a former head coach? Like, what is the dynamic there with you two? And here's what old man Fangs had to say.
Well, I'm there for any time Mike wants to use me as a resource, and he does that on occasion. I've got my hands full trying to run the defense, and I'm not going to try and impose my will on things. But Mike's not reluctant to ask an opinion, and if he wants to use it, he can. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
So there you go. Fangs he's here. He's open door policy for Fangs. He's not butting in Leroy. But I really would love to just see like a breakfast between the two. Like, do you think like, Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio are like sharing a grapefruit?
Here's an interesting thing. What are they eating?
Yeah, that's what I'm
big
saying.
snack time guy.
So I would figure Mike McDaniel is getting a Pop-Tart on the go, and Vic Fangio is eating a bowl of oatmeal.
Little bowl, little brand, keep him satisfied, keep him fueled up for the hot sun.
Yeah.
Well, here's Mike McDaniel on his relationship with Vic Fangio.
I didn't enter into the into the marriage like, there's another guy exactly like me. These are things that I think help the football team. And when Vic's saying that, he's not saying anything negative. He's being bottom line that you have to earn jobs, which I agree with. How do I feel about it? I feel like he's Vic Fangio, exactly who I'd hope he'd be. I was hoping he wouldn't come here trying to impersonate me, because that'd be terrible. We want Vic Fangio, not older, wiser Mike McDaniel.
Oh my God, could you imagine what he's going to be like when he's old? Because the old do like to ramble sometimes.
Yep. They also.
What is he going to do? Wait. What is Mike McDaniel going to do when he's like 55, 60?
That's what I'm saying.
Now.
No, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, what is older, wiser Mike McDaniel going to be like?
He's going to forget midway. What are we talking about again? One more time?
I do feel I could picture.
Yes, no.
I do feel. Do you feel like there's ever been a time where Vic Fangio's just walked away from a Mike McDaniel conversation because it's going too long? Because the old don't have time,
Jesus Christ.
He goes, you got this defense. I got
I don't got time for this.
I gotta go.
He goes, Vic, we were just discussing who's your favorite philosopher. He goes, he's just sitting
With some Vic turned around to say Wu-Tang.
You tell me you wouldn't want to see this on Hard Knocks? I'm so jealous.
That would be the funniest thing ever. If Big Fangio say, you know what, I like that philosopher Wu-Tang.
What would Socrates say to that?
Schmiethan Schmolnick says Mike McDaniel's going to be Bill Walton 2.0. I don't disagree.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I think
At one
instances, he'll just drop a.
I bleeped myself.
Nick T says Mike McDaniel, a Go-Gurt guy for sure. Rides in on a skateboard listening to Blink 182.
No, I think he has the wheelie shoes. I think he just uses.
He wouldn't have the wheelie shoes. You think just to get around the facility faster?
Absolutely. And then just preaches about efficiency as he rolls by.
Why did I just envision all of that?
I'm telling you, with a Go-Gurt in hand, just wheeling by
A Go-Gurt. He's got the Go-Gurt.
Or like beef jerky.
Yeah.
No, Big Fangio's eat beef jerky.
Yeah.
Big Fangio's eating beef jerky that he got stored in his back pocket for a snack. Mike McDaniel is the Go-Gurt guy.
I feel like Vic Fangio is making his own jerky, like in the off season, and it's all just in the deep. It's all deep freezer. He goes, all right, time to bring out that venison. Picture him go bow hunting in the off season.
It's got to be bow hunting.
Oh, got to be bow hunting. Like I feel like him and Zach Sealer probably got along together, going bow hunting.
Oh my goodness.
Really, I don't know if you can have two more opposite coaches based off what we've heard. One's old and a bit of a curmudgeon. The other one's bubbly and young.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want a reality show with these two?
And you know what makes it perfect? That's what fits an offense, and that's what fits a defense, right?
Yeah.
Because a defensive coach has to have everybody in the right position, knowing the calls, knowing the checks, and all that. And offensively, like, you can be that guy to say, just throw deep with Tyreek. You know,
dial it up, baby.
Dial it up. That's it. Boop, boop. That's offense.
Hey, Vic, check this out. Boop, boop, boop. What are you doing? I'm dialing it up, baby.
Back in my day, we used to. We used to dial it up.
It used to take 7.5 minutes to call long distance. Right? Because you had to dial. Don't forget the one. And then if you forgot the number, you forgot what number you were on, you couldn't just hit the X and go back a number. You had to hang up and start it all over again.
No, I'm pretty sure Vic Fangio had to request an operator to tell him to connect.
Oh, wait, pull in the little
Hello,
thing.
operator.
Wow. I like to call my cousin.
Oh, man.
What's the number? Jesus. I don't know. Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
The Fangs family reunion. We'll take a quick break. Coming up next, our favorite Tuesday game. The damage is done, my friend, is next. Go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Taking you up until 2 o'clock. It's time to get to our favorite Tuesday game. The damage is done, my friend.
The damage is done, my friend.
Go around the room, say where the damage has been done. You guys get the game, all right? I'll go first. For me, obvious one. You guys know I've been talking about this. And for me, it's the Miami Marlins. They brought up Eury Perez yesterday on a last-ditch effort to try and save the season. They lost because they
maybe that was the plan, though.
They ruined his mojo, and the damage is done. The damage has been done.
The damage is done, my friend.
Bring him up. You should have kept the heater going. And, if things look like they were going awry, then you set him down, But when you're on a heater, when you're rolling, baby, you keep it going on the tracks. And then they blew it. Damage is done, my friend. Leroy?
The damage is done, my friend.
Marco, so we ready?
In about 35 Mississippi, we will be.
Go ahead, J-Fig.
Okay. Don't really have much except that my bank account will have some damage after tomorrow.
T-Swift.
T-Swift.
Hopefully I get the code, but there's also another concert of one of my favorite bands.
Who?
That is also doing it. The Maine.
Oh, the Maine. They're not coming to Riptide?
No, not this year.
Bummer.
But they are doing a 16th anniversary tour, and I'm really excited. And no, they do not come down here. It's great. So I have to fly somewhere.
Where
so
you
got
fly?
two concert tickets
No
and a
idea
plane
yet.
ticket?
Yes.
Jesus, dude.
It's going to be great.
She's like crying. It's gonna be great. I ain't gonna have no money when I'm done, but it's gonna be great.
At least I guess the thing that happens with concerts is like maybe you work your way back after spending all that money on them, and then you don't think about the money.
Happy, okay?
Concerts makes you happy. You do what makes you happy, J-Fig.
Exactly.
Damage
is done.
Do we have Leroy's sound now, Marco?
No, but in the meantime, while it gets into the system, I could give you my damages done.
All right, what do you got for us here, Frog Boy?
My damage is done. As we saw recently, there was a bit of a kerfuffle in Major League Baseball. Not sure if you guys were
Did
aware.
you see the reenactment of the Alabama thing?
No, Alabama. What?
Oh, dude, I sent it to you yesterday.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people that reenacted the Alabama dock situation. It was hilarious.
Crazy.
Well, that kerfuffle, unfortunately, has led to a little bit more piling on the Cleveland Guardians minor league affiliate team. Did you guys see what was going on there?
No.
Oh,
well, they actually have a Jose Ramirez Appreciation Week going on right now. All fans named Tim get a free ticket to sit down on the grass. Wear your Ramirez jersey. Wear your Ramirez jersey and get a free Bam Bam in the cargo hold. Don't know what that means.
Oh my goodness. What are they doing?
And
A free seat on
apparently,
the grass.
I'm not sure if they have some sort of arcade, which, like, if a minor league team has some sort of arcade to their disposal, I'll give them credit for that. But apparently they have an 80s themed arcade, and they will be having a punch out competition in this arcade. If anyone is interested in participating at the punch out competition during this Cleveland minor league game, you can do so in honor of the kerfuffle that went down this weekend.
I got to tell you, minor league teams are very creative in some of the things that they do.
That was one of the stuff. I did. It was part of it when I was driving up to Tennessee. I was like, man, I really would love to go see a Savannah Bananas game.
Yeah, those guys have definitely cornered the market.
That it just looks like great fun. Baseball, like Harlem Globetrotters.
Really does.
It's theater.
Stop it. What? Are we ready, Marcos?
-1.
-1 before we get to Leroy.
-1.
So I want you guys to listen to this, and then I'll give you the results.
You don't want to like it. You don't want to set it up at all. It's kind of a random sound to play.
So
Just
it's a pregame. It's a pregame show with Kevin Brown, who is the play-by-play for the Baltimore Orioles.
Yep.
Right. So he's going into his, pregame numbers and stuff like that or whatever. And here's what he says.
Rob Boy.
So this was unfortunately a video of someone talking about it. Essentially, do you want me to give you his quote?
No. Just like, why didn't what? No, I don't want his quote.
This guy's quote, the actual thing that Leroy is referring to.
No, I want if we could get the sound of him actually talking, because it would basically essentially
you need to sound to
set it up
for me to set up my damages.
We cannot talk about the Orioles play-by-play guy Cal Ribbertkin then if we do not have the sound of him riffing on it. But he's essentially he's now in trouble with his team.
Here's what happened. He gave stats, and we've done this. Me and Tobin have done this. The announcers for the Heat have done this when they've said things like, "We haven't won here in 8 years. Haven't played well here at all." Me and Tobin talks all the time. Orlando, they come into town, they dominate us. Don't know why, can't explain it.
Right.
So he was basically saying, in the last however many years, the Orioles have stunk in
Tampa.
And he gave the numbers, the stats or whatever. But keep in mind, the Orioles are in first place right now.
Yeah,
over Tampa. Good. So he's explaining all this, and he gets suspended indefinitely because the Orioles didn't like the way he was speaking about the team.
But it really was like,
stats.
It was crazy because they're like this. They suspended him indefinitely, and I remember watching this clip, and I'm like, I thought like, oh, did he say something offensive? Like, I'm still waiting for it. Like, we've seen some baseball announcers. They've had some slips, and it's really cost.
This wasn't the slip. This was just
stats. It was the most bland stats. I kept watching the video. I watched it like 3 times. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out.
In fact, one of the comments was, did everybody watch it 3 times to figure out what he said?
Yeah. I was like, I'm sitting here. What did Kevin Brown say in this minute of soliloquy? And do you have it now, Marcos?
Yeah.
Here is Kevin
Brown.
Brown.
It's felt like this has been maybe the toughest ballpark to play in, but the Orioles have a chance to do something special today. They've already clinched at least a split in the series, winning 2 of the first 3, and they could pick up a series win behind Tyler Wells today. It's been a minute. The Orioles split a 2-gamer with the Rays in June. They had lost their last 15 series here at Tropicana Field. You have to go back to when our now colleague Brad Brock picked up the win in the series finale, June 25th, 2017, the last time the Orioles won a series here at St. Pete. Already got 3-2 at the Trop this year after winning 3 of 18 the previous 3 years combined. It is a stark difference, Ben, and it is not a bad Rays team. It's not like all of a sudden the Rays became slouches in the American League East. They've led this division every day, but now 2, and the Orioles once again are back alone in first place.
He got suspended indefinitely for that.
He got suspended indefinitely, and like the thing that has been put out there is that, so this is from Matt Jurgensen. It says, I have reliable sources say Brown is currently suspended over a comment he made in the Rays series. The Orioles have won more games against them this season than the last 2 combined. John Angelos, the owner, didn't like it and took action. Thin-skinned. Currently suspended indefinitely. Now, they have announced that he's coming back on Friday.
But the damage is done.
The damage is done.
The damage is done.
It was crazy. Like,
you can't be up in your feelings as an owner. Hold on. You can't be up in your feelings as an owner when you suck for the last 15 years. Get over yourself.
It's crazy.
And he actually went about it in a softball way.
That was one of the things that actually, like, the word was on Tommy Hutton, who of course I adore, even though he did shut me down.
Honest,
he was very honest, and some Marlins players would take issue with it. But like, Tommy would give Marlins players the business. I've heard like, I'm like, oh, like that's, but I appreciate that as a fan. I like when the broadcasters give you some honest. Like, there's no need to sugarcoat it at all
You can't
points.
be a team player all the time because then you seem fake.
Right. And
You can't do your job. You're not doing your job if you are Tobin as a play-by-play guy.
that's not fair. I'm honest, dude.
Dude,
TTL.
dude, come on.
Who
Dude,
gives more
come on.
toast? How can I be always a cheerleader, but yet I've also always traded everybody? Yeah, you boxed in.
No, wait. No, you can't do two things that you've done. That's why it's a dilemma. We
Nope.
can't figure you out because you've done both.
Exactly. You look over here, and then I'm doing another thing, you know?
But yeah, you can't listen. It'd be different if the Orioles had dominated the division and had a couple of down years, and then they've been putrid the last whatever. No, they have been horrible for a number of years. They're finally competitive.
Mhm.
He's stating the obvious, the things that everybody knows that, like, as a fan of the Orioles, you go, man, we haven't done well here. He's just pointing it out and giving you numbers. And the owner got soft on him and got sensitive and decided to suspend him indefinitely.
Yep.
He kind of owes that man an apology.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, come on now.
Good
It's
luck.
like down here with the Marlins.
Mhm.
Like, everybody had a hard time with the previous ownership, and it was because of the way they handled things, not because of the fans.
Right.
So you can't get on an announcer for pointing out the obvious.
They had their own issues for the broadcast booth, which is they had two guys that sounded exactly alike. Never knew who was talking. It's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
Now that it's diversified a little bit, it's a much cleaner product. Mike Inglis weighed in on this, by the way, former Heat radio voice. Now, Mike Inglis would give a team of business.
Oh,
Mike Inglis would give the Heat the business, dude.
Especially with wasn't he Scottish? Remember he did the little Scottish thing?
He did the Scottish accent, but he'd be like, I gotta tell you, Miami Heat, they couldn't throw it in the ocean if they tried right now. Like he
Right.
I mean, he
Right.
would, a lot of people thought like might even skew negative, like, but he's honest. Like I
he's
like the fact that
honest.
Mike Inglis would give you that.
But here's the kicker. Nobody in the Heat organization had a problem with it.
Inglis said, it certainly doesn't sound like a good team to work for. Sometimes the truth hurts. You don't want a cheerleader in your broadcast booth. You do want someone telling you exactly what is happening with excitement without going overboard negatively when the team isn't playing well.
How can you get fired for saying a team has struggled, but they're in first place?
But that's the thing that's crazy. Like I didn't even find this to be harsh criticism. He's literally reading statistics.
So the stats guy need to be fired?
Yeah.
Does the producer need to be fired? The guy who put the graphic up need to be fired?
It was even a thing where he's like, man, they have something. I wonder if they actually even won that game. I am curious now. Did they beat the Rays that day? I don't even know. But it's one of these things where, like, yeah, if you have this great season, and why is it so great? Oh, they have an opportunity to do something that they haven't done since 2017. Win a series in Tropicana Field. Like, I don't understand how anybody. That's why everybody was like, they were so stunned by the suspension that everybody's like, if this is what he's suspended for, because it almost doesn't seem like reality. And apparently the Orioles are even denying the fact that he was suspended. And Kevin Brown's not going to say anything. I know people are like, I wouldn't work for a team like that. Damn, dude, those jobs are hard to come by. Play-by-play of a team, 162 games. Like, I'm sure it's a pain in the butt.
And they keep you forever if you're decent at it.
Right.
You can do it as long as you want. Yeah.
By the way, they did win that game.
Did they? Yeah, there you go.
The game before.
So,
like, it was the day before. So it was July 23rd when this happened. And
yeah,
he's just now returning from suspension? That's ridiculous.
Because people are just noticing, hey, he hasn't been, where's he been? And that was the thing that apparently set it all off as to where he was. But pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. I don't know why the Orioles felt the need to do that, but the damage is done now.
That's crazy. Like, I'm still wondering. Like, I'm still wondering, what did he do that was so egregious? Shouldn't you have to, like, say, like, shouldn't the owner have to say what he did?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, where's the thing that I'm like I said, I had to roll it back. I'm like, this can't. I was expecting, like, in the middle of this to, like, Orioles owner suspension. I didn't even, like, read the whole tweet. I was like, oh, Orioles owner suspension. I was like, uh-oh, what do we have? A Brenneman situation? Like, what the hell?
Right.
Like, what went down? I mean, we've seen that where, like, you know, the A's announcer, he had a bad slip up. he got fired. And then, of course, you had the Reds announcer, Marty Brenneman. I've been on his podcast, by the way. He he was caught on a hot mic. And so I was fully expecting, awful announcing is tweeting this out. Something bad
Something bad happened. It wasn't even awful announcing. It doesn't even qualify for that website.
And everybody says this guy's great. You know, he looks like a kid. I don't know how old he is, if he's just got one of those baby faces, but he looks very young. And I don't get it. It was very strange. I'm kind of rooting against the Orioles now.
That sucks, right? Because that's where this has gone. Because I know a lot of people that are probably saying, I hope they don't win nothing because of that owner.
Crazy. Take a quick break. Get you caught up with your headlines. Dolphins practicing right now. Back after this.
With the 5th pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Miami Heat select
Bob Davis. Here is Wade. Yes! 1.3 to go in the 4th quarter. The rookie Dwyane Wade has given Miami a 2-point lead. The Hornets take a timeout. Odom. Shot clock at 2. Odom didn't realize it. Wade just gets it off. It's good. A 3. Look out, Adebayo on the pick and roll. Blocked by Wade. It's as good as it goes. Yes! Oh! He did it again. Into beautiful Miami, Florida, where tonight this city will host its first ever NBA Finals game. Wade pulls up, puts it in. 5-point game. Now by as many as 13 here in the 4th period on the drive. Inside, banks it in. What a move. 3-point game. Wade. It's good. 1-point game. Knocked away, and the Heat survive. And by Wade. There you go. A stirring 4th quarter comeback. And the Miami Heat right back in the NBA Finals. Wade looking. Pulls up, banks it in. Tie game with 2.8 remaining. The remarkable Dwyane Wade with 39. Terry puts it up. Won't go. Rebound Wade. The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history.
Congratulations, 2006 MVP Dwyane Wade.
Hey.
Damn.
You guys hear me?
Why do you touch stuff?
Because I was coughing. That guy's good, that D-Wade, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That guy's good.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell Jeff Teague, though, because rings don't matter to him. Jeff Teague. You believe this jackass is doubling down on his James Harden, Dwyane Wade take?
Why are you so, like, your life is consumed by meaningless things?
It's not meaningless. This Jeff Teague needs
It's
a lesson.
Jeff Teague. That's all you need to know.
I don't care. This guy had the audacity, all right, to go out there and say that kids don't play like Dwyane Wade at the park. They play like James Harden. I don't know about you, but I haven't seen kids at the park flopping all about. Have you? I don't know.
I'm guessing he's talking about the 3-point shot.
Oh, yeah. Dude, guess what? They're playing like Steph Curry. They're not playing like James Harden. Okay? And if anything, from this BAM camp that I saw the other day, they're playing like LaMelo Ball because they're doing 3 goggles and gritties after every 3-pointer. So every kid is doing it.
Like, nobody goes to the rim anymore, right?
Nope. Just let me check. Everyone, you know what's funny? Every time they were doing 3, 2, fist step back 3. They all did the same thing. But man, I can't wait for this weekend. D-Wade, we got great weekends back to back. Zach Thomas going into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And now D-Wade is going to be entering into the Hall of Fame.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, it's this weekend.
Wow.
Yep.
Man. All right. D-Wade inducted into the Hall of Fame before he could get a street sign put up.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So sad.
Amazing. But it is, it's, I mean, like, what a storybook career it was down here. Everything that he's done since he burst onto the scene. I mean, like, that's just the first 3 years.
I think the thing I appreciate about D-Wade is how he grew as a man, as a person. Like, kind of a little bit quiet when he first came in, not as much of a talker. And then how he just grew into that role as team leader, just spokesman, being able to, be the spokesman for the team as the leader. I just think that just watching that progression as his career moved on was pretty special.
And this Jeff Teague's coming out here. He goes, well, rings don't matter to me. You know what?
You know who rings don't matter? See, I'm somebody that would say that. You know why? Because I ain't got no rings.
My man ain't got no rings.
Right.
Jeff Teague. Oh,
you know what I mean?
To me.
It's like Charles Barkley would say that. You know why? because he ain't got none. So rings don't matter. Always comes from somebody who don't have a ring. So you take it with a grain of salt. That's because you ain't got none.
Jeff Teague, when you say that, you see little kids playing like James Harden. Like, do you argue like a little kid? Rings don't matter. All right, dude. Grow up, Peter Pan.
You need to stop worrying about things that
I am sick of this. I am sick of him. I am sick of Paul Pierce. I am sick of Stat Muse. I am sick of NBA Central. I am sick of all these Twitter accounts and these young snot-nosed kids trying to tell me that in any galaxy, planet, stratosphere, that James Harden is better than Dwyane Wade. Never has been, never will be. Never has been, and never will be. A turnstile, James Harden, his entire career. D. Wade, best shot blocking guard of all time. A 3-time champion to this guy who's got some of the most epic chokes of all time because he could do a stupid step back 3. Guys out there like a windsock. Ooh, flopping all over the place. Trickery.
You need to calm down.
By the way, have you noticed since they changed the rules on the not as good. Not as good.
What?
Go look when they changed it. When they changed the rules on fouling in this league, go look at his numbers. Plummeted.
I mean, he still averaged 20 and 10, right?
Oh, hey, bully for you. So did Tyler Hero.
And you trading him.
Well, for Dame. Did you like my insincere concern yesterday with UD? Where I was like, yeah, Tyler, he gets those trade rumors a lot, UD.
How do you
recognize those instances?
Dude, but don't be a fraud.
What do you mean?
They know.
At least I didn't.
Like Bam said, he knew you was gonna come in there with that. He knew it.
But I'm a charmer. I'm a charmer.
He gave you several looks.
James Harden. Embarrassing. Go watch it. D. Wade, gentleman sweeping James Harden in a finals. He was so bad they decided, you know what? We'll keep Serge Ibaka instead of this guy. Go ahead, Jeff Teague, though. Rings don't matter. What about head-to-head matchups? Does that matter, Jeff Teague? No? Okay.
What was the head-to-head matchups?
2012 finals.
Oh, that's you only count those.
What do you mean I'm only counting those? It was a head-to-head matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he was a starter and James Harden was coming off the bench.
Oh, dude, he was one of their most important players. Don't be silly. Chris Bosh
in that series.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because the Heat smoked him out, dude. That's why.
He was 6 man. Wasn't he like 6 man of the year that year?
You know where he was in that series?
Where?
No man of the year. A ghost.
You believe James Harden has won all NBA first team 6 times?
That's the other thing. He's like, James Harden gets no respect. I'm like, he doesn't? Guy won an MVP. He was a runner-up in another MVP. Oh, he gets no respect. No, dum-dum. He gets plenty of respect. The right amount of respect, which is below Dwyane Wade.
You know who gets no respect? His running mate. Everybody treats him like poison.
Who?
Did he sign with the Clippers or the Lakers? He was with the Lakers. The Lakers got rid of him.
Westbrook?
Westbrook. I don't think Westbrook gets any respect.
Ridiculous. The two of them also lost to D Wade in that finals. While LeBron's cramping. I can't finish this game. Don't worry, I'll save you. We're not going to have a 2011 situation again, LeBron. Me and Chalmers got this. We'll put the clamps on this series. Get you your first ring.
You just won't stop.
No, it's just like here's the thing that annoys me the most about it, though, Leroy.
He's going into the Hall of Fame.
I know, dude.
Shouldn't
and you
we
want to know
celebrating that?
I am.
Instead,
Jeff
you
Teague's
going off
ruining
on
it.
some tangent about a guy who's like the only way he going to the Hall of Fame is if you buy a ticket.
Jeff Teague is annoying me. Okay,
why?
Because I don't like the fact
That's
that people
beneath
think
your
this.
pay grade.
I don't like this.
You're
ruining his Hall of Fame week.
Listen, it's like here. It's like a game where the sixth cornerback is messing with your star receiver. The star receiver can't bite Because if they lose the 6th receiver, the 6th DB, they're good. You see what I'm saying? So the star can't bite. You bite all the time.
I'm not biting.
Jeff Teague is not at the level of D Wade. So why are we sitting here listening to what Jeff Teague's opinion is about D Wade?
I don't know what Jeff Teague's got, what racket he's trying right now. I know he seems to see like he's getting into the podcast space. And anybody who's got a podcast, we're going to listen to what he's got to say. And let me just tell you, young snot-nosed punks who came down here, all right? You act like D Wade was sitting here coattail riding his entire career. Oh, but he had Shaq. He got one good year of Shaq, okay? And Shaq couldn't even get them over the top because D Wade got hurt in that series against the Pistons, okay? And then carried Shaq the next year in the finals to a championship. And then, the disappearing act in 2011 by your beloved LeBron James, you NBA Central nerds. Please. And this guy wants to tell me about James Harden and rings don't matter. And by the way, little kids, like, who are you watching at the park? D Wade retired 5 years ago. If you're a 10-year-old at the park, at 5 years old, you're watching Bluey, not D Wade.
Caught some Bluey this weekend, by the way.
Pretty good.
Hey, why are you picking now you picking kids apart?
It's just like it's such a stupid take by Jeff Teague. He's a child.
Dude, is there no limit to who you hose down? You just hose down the 10-year-old. Hey, who the hell were you watching 5 years ago? But here, I can tell you one thing. Jeff Teague is speaking for a group of kids that probably don't know who Jeff Teague is.
Yeah.
So why are you falling for it?
I don't like it.
That's the point.
I don't like it.
Somebody will bite, just like you get me to bite. Somebody got you to bite, and they do it all the time.
It's a very sensitive topic for me. I don't like it. That's why I didn't want James Harden on the Heat.
He's going to the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Why I never wanted James Harden on the Heat. Never.
Who cares? You seem to be the only person that cares about these things.
That's not true. That's not true.
Who else does?
Heat Twitter. Heat Nation. This is slanderous.
Listen, it should only get credibility or anger or anything if the guy making the comments is warranted. So that means for example, if Charles Barkley were to say something like that, you could be upset. Charles Barkley is a Hall of Famer, right? Jeff Teague, you're supposed to be talking about the guys below you, not above you.
Hit this guy with the bum guns, Marcos. I'm done with this guy. Jeff Teague.
You spend an hour, you'll be done.
He's a bum.
Can I get the big Mike Biamonte sounder too?
Oh yeah, of course. The original.
Bum.
Yep. And the other one.
This guy.
Fire the bum guns.
That too.
Bum.
Jeff Teague.
That's bum.
On the 60-win team, and he gets bounced by LeBron James, gets swept. This guy's talking about rings don't matter. Nah, certainly not. You and Kyle Korver. What a show.
You, a person who has won a ring has never said rings don't matter.
Worst 60-win team of all time.
Again, a person who has not won a ring is the only one that's going to talk about rings don't matter. If you get a ring, they matter.
The original Budenholzer choke crew. Bum.
This guy's a bum.
I thought you said you were done.
I'm done. I swear to God now.
Well, you keep going.
It's just enough of him already. I'm sick of Jeff Teague, and I'm sick of him having a podcast. Bum. No wonder Jimmy Butler walked out on you.
It all makes sense. Isn't he a twin also?
Jeff Teague's a twin?
I could be confusing him with a different person, but I think
is the other one that's stupid?
Maybe he's trying to get both of them, like, little podcasting deals.
Ridiculous. Take a break. Jeff Teague, you're not invited to Springfield.
Oh, wow.
Back to reality. Back to life. Back to reality.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Dolphins look like they just wrapped up their first joint practice. They'll be back at it tomorrow. Word is Tyreek Hill was a monster today. Not shocking. 7th best player in the league according to NFL players. A little bit of a slight, if you ask me.
Here we go. You just moved from sport to sport.
What do you mean?
Oh my God!
What?
Seventh. There's 1,600 players in the NFL. He's ranked 7th, and you say he was slighted?
Dolphins record.
And he don't play quarterback. He doesn't play quarterback, and he's ranked in the top 10. Stop it.
A little bit of a slight.
Stop it.
A little bit of a slight. J-Fig, you have Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey just tweeted out he's at practice, but he's just standing there. He says, "Wish I was playing right now." Sad face emoji. Poor Jalen.
Misses football, man. He's something, I don't know. I wouldn't consider him injury prone. So I'm sure this is something he's done a majority of his life to now just watch this new opportunity unfold right in front of you. Has to be hard, man.
Do you have Mike McDaniel on Jalen Ramsey, Marcos? This was McCochin earlier today, and he's not out there with crutches, which is, I guess, a good sign.
Well, I heard the whole story that what originally thought the injury was more serious, but they only had to do a little debridement, which means that the timeline moves way up.
Good.
Like I told you, until they open it up and do the scope, they're not going to know what damage is in there. So you're not going to know how long the recovery time is going to be. So with what they had to do, instead of, what did they say, 3 months, you could almost cut a third of that off.
Here is McCochin on no crutches for Jalen Ramsey.
There's been a slew of crutches thievery in Miami Gardens. No, his again, it's a beautiful balance because I love where Jalen's at. He is attacking everything. I love that I can depend on our training staff to know that leads someone vulnerable to overexerting at the stage. So that balance is been doing excellent right now. He is, in terms of ahead, I think if I say ahead of schedule to our head trainer, he might open hand slap me because he doesn't believe in that. He believes in he's doing well at this juncture, but you have to go through steps and plateaus. He was already resisting the crutches when he had the crutches. I pointed out to him that his triceps could use the work, but he didn't agree. And his spirits are great.
It's very very mature of Mike McDaniel to make a triceps joke to a guy who's down bad right now.
That's terrible. Again, the diagnosis was a little off when they didn't know what type of damage they were going to have. They since gone in, saw the damage. So the timeline is a bit improved. So from that standpoint, like you never really knew what the timeline was. Without a scope, without going in there and seeing what it was, the fact that they said he wasn't going to be back until December, it was very inaccurate.
Well, I liked how the depth chart came out today, and they still had Jalen Ramsey first on the depth chart. I'm like, you're not allowed to do that. You can't just have the injured guy on. Like, I know that they always lie on the depth chart, and it doesn't matter to coaches. That's not fair. You don't get to put an injured guy first on the depth chart.
Why not?
That's not fair. Pick a guy on the depth chart. I want to know who's first. Who's going to start opposite Xavier Howard? And he's being a coward.
Can I ask you, why the hell do you get into arguments about trivial stuff?
I'm not trivial. And
This is trivial.
It's not trivial. It's not trivial. It's
Jeff
just like
Teague saying that he'd prefer that everybody is not doing D Wade is doing. Well, guess what D Wade is? In the Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
So being D Wade ain't bad. But
Some
yet
people-
you still have a problem with it.
You need to
He's in
protect-
the Hall of Fame.
I need to protect the past.
You don't have to.
I am
Hall-
protecting
wait.
D Wade from TikTok.
Hall of Fame career speaks for itself.
No, it doesn't. Not to the punk kids, it doesn't. Okay? You see these idiots walking
you think
around
they're
here?
listening to- whoa.
Every-
You think they're listening to Jeff Teague?
Dude, I don't know who they're listening to. What I
Then-
do
then
know
they're-
is
listen. Then we don't want them as basketball fans anyway.
Yeah.
If they're getting their information from Jeff Teague.
you have these stupid kids walking around with their TikTok and their VR goggles. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what's
VR
up, what's that.
goggles?
Yeah, virtual reality, dude.
Who uses VR goggles?
The punk snot-nosed kids that like Jeff Teague's podcast. That's who. And you know, when they sit here and they just make jokey jokes and they think everything's no, sometimes you got to get down to the nitty-gritty. And the nitty-gritty is D Wade's better than James Harden. I don't care what Jeff Teague says on his TikTok. Ridiculous.
Are you done?
I mean, I was done. You brought it up.
No, but the problem is you argue about things that should have no relevance to what is going on this weekend.
He's ruining it.
He's not.
He
Not
ruined
ruining it for me.
That's because
I can fully appreciate everything that D Wade has done that has
because-
gotten him to the point of being a Hall of Famer.
No. You sit here and you do the same thing every time I get riled about. So why don't you let it bother you? Why don't you let it bother? Why do you let it bother you? It's like, you know what? It's not helpful advice, Leroy. This is my therapy. And you're just telling me to bottle it up. You want me to bottle it up like a hot take bottle of champagne, ready to burst.
Dude, I'm going to say this as a friend
Hmm?
and as a brother. You need help.
I do not need help, dude.
You need to go
Jeff
talk to
Teague
somebody.
needs help.
You need to go talk to somebody.
No, dude, I am not happy about this, that Jeff Teague has ruined D-Wade Hall of Fame week with his mouth. Him, Paul Pierce, any of these dum-dums.
Yeah.
All I hear about every day, somebody's got to take on Kyrie Irving was LeBron's best teammate. No, he wasn't. Anthony Davis was his best teammate. No, he's not. You want to talk about fragile? I mean, people talk about D Wade. They act like he was in the infirmary the entire time. Missed one playoff game his entire career. And they're sitting here acting like one playoff game with LeBron his entire career. You're acting like, oh, this guy was out all the time. What about Mr. Porcelain himself, Unibrow? Kyrie Irving missed an entire finals. That's the best teammate LeBron's ever had.
Wait. The only person that brings up injuries is you.
No, people, dude. People try and use it as
Who
a
the hell is people?
People, dude.
You always say people to make your point.
No.
I want names.
People say that, and
What
it
people
annoys
have
me.
said that?
It annoys me, dude.
People. You can't just use people as an excuse for everything.
Oh,
People.
Basketball's 42 on Twitter. Hoops hype. All these idiots.
Dude, you
Are
need
you
help.
making all these up?
Look, I'm gonna tell you, meet me at my house early on Friday. We need to make a stop.
What?
Yeah.
Therapy.
Yeah. You need to see somebody about your condition.
Nick T
Your
says
people condition. You got a people condition. You blame people for everything.
Tobin's hearing voices, man.
Yeah.
Dude, if you guys
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Be like, yeah, man.
You guys act like Nick T says. He says if Tobin didn't have a show, he'd just be yelling these takes on a street corner. It's not true.
Oh, like the guy that's trying to get everybody to come to Jesus on the
Yeah,
corner.
if I had cardboard,
Fat
it would.
Bum! You can see him on the corner right now. James Harden, Fat Bum, never win a championship. Just, dude, you know what you're like? You know we're in Vegas and the guy was playing the imaginary drums, but he had some the little pots or whatever. That's what you do. You're a carnival barker.
I'm not a carnival barker, dude.
Really?
I'm not a carnival barker. Don't call
All
me that.
of your complaints come from people. People. Just random people. Random people should not be bothering you this much.
They're not, dude. It's all over the place. You choose not to see it. You're not in these Twitter streets.
Because D Wade's in the Hall of Fame, and I don't care about what anybody else to say. His career has spoken for itself.
Give these kids a history lesson. All right, Professor Tobin.
Now you want everybody to feel the way you do about D Wade. That's a problem.
No, what is a problem is kids who think that James Harden is better than Dwyane Wade. That's a problem. Those kids are growing up in a bad world.
Because when D Wade was in his prime, they weren't even alive.
I'm trying to teach them, dude.
You ain't go. You know you sound like right now. Who's the greatest football player ever? Nope, good guess. Like that's what you sound like. You're that old guy.
I'm gonna be at the Hard Rock Poker Room.
You want to tell everybody about D Wade? We know.
Who do you think is the third greatest shooting guard of all time? James Harden? No, he was good, but not as good as D Wade.
You're an idiot. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna sneak over to his house tonight and I'm gonna tase him and I'm gonna Baker act him and take him in for treatment. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm gonna have to tase you. I'm gonna have to tase you because you ain't gonna leave willingly. Say, hey, Tobes, let's go for a ride. I'm not going. Put him in the car. Because you're getting out of hand. You do it in every sport.
Well,
I ask you this. I ask you this.
Yeah.
You think your opinions are strong about D Wade and these kids who never saw him play? How you think Jet Up is doing with the fact that Kirk Cousins is ranked higher than Aaron Rodgers? No, you know, dude. If they put a certain quarterback above Tua, you would lose your mind. Like all other quarterbacks, but if they put the one guy that you know is a straight bum, you would lose your mind. So I'm thinking Jet Up is losing their mind.
I mean, they were talking today on Jet Up. I saw they're like, Jared Goff is definitely better than Kirk Cousins, best quarterback in the NFC North. I was like, I don't know. I was even like at that point, I was like, kind of a slap in the face to Kirk Cousins. I don't care what the numbers say.
All right.
Jared Goff.
Like first of all, he went from an unplayable quarterback to top 10 now.
Crazy, right?
Unplayable. I saw an interesting thing. They were talking about, they had another thing on about the greatest eights in sports. And they had Steve Young. You know, Steve Young didn't start at quarterback till he was 30. 30, 31 years old.
How about that?
Right. I think we look at great players and we just assume that guy was great forever. And they're all not like that.
Nope.
But we don't allow young players to develop.
Right. Well, some of them don't have.
They got to be Hall of Famers right away. That's
like,
on us.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like D Wade was great right away.
No, right. There are. Wait, and I specified that's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Teague. Maybe you should take some notes. Go back and watch the Hornets series, dude. D Wade went to the rookie. Stan Van Gundy went to the rookie, and he delivered. That's Tony Fiorentino. Mwah. Great call. Yeah, baby. Back after this.
Previously on
Tobin and Leroy.
I'm a carnival barker. right, welcome back, you rascals. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 here on the show. So, Leroy, how are we giving away these tickets, dude? Like, what are we doing, man? You tweeted it out.
I would say
tickets. What do you want to do here, dude?
I would say the first segment of the last hour.
Okay.
At exactly JP 10JP, caller number JP gets 4 tickets.
I like that. Marlins number. By the way.
Yeah, not
Marlins.
Not
That's
Jaelan
all we
Phillips.
care about.
Okay.
I don't care about them men with the Rockies.
Okay.
Well, no, I just want to make sure people are calling Jaelan Phillips now JP, just so people know it's
What?
Yeah, they are. They are. They are. I just wanted to just be clear.
We're talking about baseball.
I understand. Well, I just wanted to make that clear. We're talking about Juan Pierre, another number blank center field, number blank caller. You will get the pair of tickets to Marlins Yankees coming up on Friday, and your favorite silly sauce crew will be there. And,
Look, we're gonna be there, and we're gonna enjoy some baseball. We're gonna enjoy some people, because we really, appreciate you guys going at us. Even you too, Smeathan. Last time we went out, we had Days South SDI.
Yeah,
we had some people out there. So now we're gonna give you a chance to come for the free.
There we go. So meet us on out there, and we will have some fun that day. We'll have some fun that day.
Hey, by the way, gates open early, and all of those guys that I mentioned are gonna do a Q&A with T. Hutton at 5:45.
Ooh.
So
right.
in the Marlins Museum. Huh?
That's pretty goosies.
You got some sources, dude. I appreciate all this info you're dropping.
I got some sources.
That's pretty goosies right there. We had Juan Pierre on earlier. Yeah. He was fantastic. We'll have that for you guys later if you guys missed it.
Hey, that's my guy now.
He was great.
He ain't never step on his glove and fall flat on his face.
That was Curtis Granderson, dude. Why you gotta keep mentioning that with Curtis Granderson?
Dude, let me tell you something. There are things that stand out in sports.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one of them. I'm not saying that he didn't have an illustrious career. I'm not saying that at all. But for that moment, when he stepped on his glove and fell on his face, that is burned in my memory.
They, by the way, they do have today, speaking of Jaelan Phillips, ESPN did a write-up of some of the next wave of stars. They broke this off into categories: Pro Bowlers to superstars, starters to Pro Bowlers. And for Jaelan Phillips, he was on the starters to Pro Bowlers category. And they wrote, Phillips is a problem. Watch Miami games, and you'll usually see at least a couple of snaps each week in which this guy makes the other guy across from him look overmatched. Even if it's one of the better left tackles in football, he isn't as stout as you might hope for an edge rusher would be, but he has special speed and bend coming off the ball. Love off-ball bend, dude. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Do you even know what that is?
Yeah, dude, but you explain it. Go ahead.
Off ball, it's basically, when you come around the corner, and you kind of get, and you look like you're almost, yeah, like just the ability to be athletic, right? Some guys are fast off the ball, but they're very stiff.
It says last season may seem like a step backwards for Phillips, who dropped from 8.5 sacks to 7 while playing 237 more defensive snaps, but I'm not so sure, Bill Barnwell writes. He jumped from 16 quarterback knockdowns as a rookie to 25 last season, which tells us that he was around the passers more often and created more problems, even if it didn't lead to extra sacks. Pass rushers typically turn about 45% of their knockdowns into sacks, which would have typically yielded an 11-plus sack for Phillips, given those QB hits. Can he be Vic Fangio's new Khalil Mack or Von Miller?
I would say that Chubb is more built like those guys, but I guess he could be.
You mean JP?
Huh?
Jaelan Phillips?
I'm saying he could have the results that those guys have had, but Chubb is more built like those guys that he talked about.
Chubba-dub-dub. Who are you chatting with, Marcos? Who's chatting your ear off right now?
Jimmy is telling me how ridiculous it is that we haven't mentioned our boy Pat Riley. And
Oh,
Jimmy, calm down, dude. We just got the audio.
yeah, I was gonna save that because I didn't know if you had it turned around yet. I didn't want to leave you tripped up, so I was gonna save that for next hour. We are honoring D Wade. Pat Riley just spoke on D Wade. He had a conference call with the media, so we'll bring you a little bit of the
Yeah.
Godfather.
Oh, did he talk about when he sent that letter?
Actually, he did. Actually, he did. I don't know if we had that sound in particular, but we do have a deep Pat Riley cut on that, and we'll get you some of that going on next.
with three. A three for the win. He did it! He did it! With 1/10 of a second left. His only field goal of the second half. D-Wade walking around saying, "This is my house, baby."
Dwyane Wade. And one as he comes off the timeout with a fury. And the blood. He's tasted blood. Well, here you are in a tie game with 4.5 to go. And Dwyane Wade is feeling it. A 17-0 run.
Simple game plan in the fourth quarter. Just get them to take a shot at Dwyane and make him bleed. The next time out after that whole skirmish, they just simplified everything. Wrote down the play. I said we're in the bonus. So get the out of Dwyane's way.
Not a good matchup right here for the Heat. Thomas, Wade with a steal, with two. Wade puts it up for the win. Yeah, baby! He did it! Dwyane Wade with the steal and the game winner. Do you believe that? Jermaine O'Neal got a piece of it. Wade. Oh, yes, and a foul. Wade going right, and Anderson fires out.
At the end of the day, I always said that I was going to do what was best for my family. And then I thought about it. Miami is my family. This organization is my family.
Goosies galore. That dunk on Anderson Varejao, man. Whoo!
It's not just the dunk, though. It's how it led up to that. It was LeBron being blocked right before that.
Yeah.
It was him saying that's how you do it. And it was the death of Anderson Varejao.
We never saw him again. We never saw him again, dude. That game, the game against the Knicks where Danilo Gallinari made Dwyane Wade bleed and then he killed the Knicks. Yeah. I mean, that was one of my favorites in person. I mean, that was like he was a shark in that game. Get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Dolphins have wrapped up their joint practice here today against the Atlanta Falcons. They'll get back at it again tomorrow. A lot of flashy plays by Tyreek Hill today in the offense. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. So no skirmishes today, though. That was a good news. No skirmishes today, Leroy, at practice.
That's gross.
Tonight,
I think a lot of times coaches will say, if there's any fights and we can't get our work done, I'm finding the hell out of everybody.
Damn. Did they say that?
Yeah.
Whew. The Marlins will try and bounce back tonight against the Reds. They are in a bad way right now. Skip Schumacher kicked out of the game yesterday, arguing balls and strikes.
I mean, listen, Skip, you're our guy. If you're going to get kicked out, go out with a bang. Don't go out explaining.
Dude. Yeah, get your money's worth, dude.
Do like Boone did for the Yankees.
By the way, we're going to
Did you see it make the strikeout call of the official? ESPN put it side by side. Yeah, that's how you go out. What about the guy? Remember the guy throwing the hand grenade?
Oh, that was great. With the rosin bag. That was awesome. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to Marlins and Yankees. Juan Pierre. Listen for him saying he's got the Goosies, and that'll be your cue to call. You got to go. Caller who has JP's number back when he was on the Marlins will get a pair of tickets to come see Marlins Yankees with us. We're going to have a lot of people out at the center field bar and have a fun time on Friday. So check us on out and check that on out. We'll give away tickets coming up in just a few minutes here. Leroy, can you get a weather update?
You sure can.
The Demesman and Dover Law Firm, your accidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call about 866-954-MORE.
Going over to the window place and looking outside. The wind is relatively calm. It is, I would say, mostly cloudy with some sun poking through. That's in Davie because it can be sunny everywhere else. And the breeze has picked up, so now I would say it's about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Winds are coming out of, looks like out of the west, but I can't tell. These clouds haven't been moving. So, and I would say it's right around 90 degrees. It's been like, it hasn't been like that heat that we had a couple of weeks ago, but it's still pretty hot and muggy. It just hasn't been like 97. 90 degrees at 10 in the morning type heat.
Marcos, do you Pat Riley just spoke. We got his conference call from the Miami Heat. Could you give us one of Pat Riley's explanations on the talent of D Wade in relation to Michael Jordan?
He was Jordan-like. You know, I say this, not I say Jordan-like. He had a game similar to Michael. He was like a cat. He was like a cougar. When he put the ball on the floor and he started going to the hoop, and we used to watch this on tape all the time. We used to say, look at how low he is to the ground, and he still has the strength and the power to go right or left, spin, and dunk the ball, or little floaters and stuff. That's Michael.
Oh, I mean, that's Goosies right there, dude.
Goosies. Goosies galore.
Man.
With the GOAT, when Pat Riley, who clearly loves Michael Jordan so much, he decided to hang his jersey in the
Let's
arena.
not talk about things we don't have to talk about.
Cool. But if he's the one comparing you, like, I mean, that's the highest honor right there.
Did you see, by the way, yesterday, speaking of D Wade, you know, like one of those little proteges that's out there is Anthony Edwards. A lot of people compare Anthony Edwards to D Wade, the similar body
Isn't
type.
he a little bit bigger? Isn't Anthony Edwards a little bit bigger?
People say he's not, though. He's not that big. He's 6'4". He's like 6'3", 6'4", just like
He
D
looks
Wade.
like he's beefier though.
I think, I mean, maybe, but like they're about the same size, same wingspan, that same athleticism, both coached by Tom Green. You know, Tom Green, he loves those guards like that. But did you see yesterday, Team USA? I don't know if you guys noticed this. Anthony Edwards, of course, one of the headliners there. He's really good. You see Eric Spoelstra chatting it up with them? You know, little
What does that mean?
Goosies. Just I like to call Eric Spoelstra there. You like to say he's just laying the groundwork, you know? Little just keep it in your mind, Leroy. You know, Anthony Edwards, what is he, only 23 right now? A long way to go. Not saying it happens next year. Obviously, we're going to get Dame Dalla, but you know, for the next wave, just remember this, Leroy. Remember this. A young, he's 22 years old. That's crazy. He's got a $200 million contract, and he's 22 years old.
Yeah, 19 came in.
Didn't he not even want to play football? I mean, basketball. He was like,
that was a big thing. Like people said, oh, he didn't like basketball wasn't even his favorite sport. Like he says he could throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. He says like whatever he does, he thinks he's great at. But he's a freak. There's no doubt in that. Anthony Edwards is a freak. But Eric Spoelstra and him chatting it up, turn it up, Goosies. You know, very interesting. Very interesting.
Just to keep track, these are the people who we have on the horizon, according to you, Tobin. Luka, for sure.
If we get Goran, we got to build a Slovenian pipeline.
That's right. So Goran and Luka. We're also getting Anthony Edwards. And we're keeping Bam.
Yeah, Bam's a lifer. Bam's a lifer. Bam's going to get his max deal, you know, all that stuff. Like, he's a lifer. Well, first we're getting Dame, right? The next incarnation, next 3 years, Dame, Jimmy, Bam, right?
Yep.
Then when Anthony Edwards is like 26, Bam's going to be 30, okay? So, like, when Bam's kind of in that prime, Anthony Edwards is just hitting the prime, they'll team up. And then maybe also Luka. I'm not sure. It's tough. It's hard to say because I don't know if they'll have Jovic. Jovic might be there too, and he might be basically the next Serbian assassin. But it's just I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is going to be on the Heat. I'm just saying keep a lookout.
Okay.
Dude, what the hell?
Any conversation is worth a lookout.
Just keep a lookout.
Okay.
That's you know what? That's how you can wiggle into and out of any trade scenario.
I'm not saying he's coming here. All I'm saying about Anthony Edwards is keep a lookout, dude. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
You've done that with pretty much every player in the NBA. We were keeping a lookout for KD. Were we not keeping a lookout for KD?
We were keeping a lookout.
Possibly kick the tires on Kyrie.
I would kick the tires, but that's different. See, here's what I'd say. I would say we were trying to get KD. We were harpooning for KD. I was willing to kick the tires on Kyrie. This is different because this is on the horizon, Leroy. And what you do with the horizon is you keep a lookout. You know, just keep a lookout. It's different, dude. It's different. You know, I'm saying two guys that I'm just going to keep a lookout for. Luka.
Yeah, a little Goosies going on, I would imagine.
Oh, JP. That is your cue to call. 305 567-0560. If you want to go to Marlins Yankees with the show coming up on Friday, Marlins Yankees this Friday. If you want to come watch a little baseball with us, 305-567-0560. Caller 9. They're going to get the tickets. JP's number. But I'm just saying, keep a lookout, Leroy. Just. And Marcos, I demand that the winner give us a Leroy. By the way,
Hey,
That makes sense.
I demand that. But all I'm saying, Leroy, is, I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is coming to the Heat, but keep a lookout. It's the Timberwolves. You got to think they're going to screw that up, right? At some point. Crazy, dude. So anyway, 305-567-0560 if you guys want to win those tickets.
We have our caller number 9 that has something to say to Leroy. Caller number 9, you are on air.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm in North Bay Village right now. I won.
Excellent. Good news. Now, what do you have to say to Leroy?
I missed it.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for you personally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Put him on hold and tell him, Marcos. Coach him up there. Let's say. Dade South says that Tobin is whale Paul Revere. Just got to keep a lookout, dude. Paul Revere was taking a look. He was keeping a lookout. Got on his horse. Pretty wild.
All right, let's try it one more time.
All right, let's see if this guy. Otherwise, I'm not going to give him the tickets, Marcos.
No, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. Caller number 9, you're on air. What do you have to say to Leroy? Dead to me.
Wow, he's gone.
He got nervous.
He's gone.
He said, I've had enough. I'm working too hard for these tickets.
Yeah.
So these tickets are still up available then, courtesy of our boy.
All I need is a Leroy, and you get the tickets. Like, that's all. I mean,
caller, you're on air. What do you have to say to Leroy?
JP.
What?
Jesus, dude.
Wait,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Simple instructions, dude.
Wow.
Very simple instructions.
This is pretty crazy.
I can do until I get a proper Leroy. It's the least he deserves. The man is putting us together.
He's giving you tickets. Like, what's the deal here? All right, let's see if somebody else is doing it who's not 100 years old.
All right. The new caller number 9. Tickets to Friday's game. What do you have to say to Leroy?
I mean, what the hell is going on here, Marcos?
Trolling, dude.
Marcos, just take the next guy off the air and make sure they're ready to get it right. Otherwise, they're all dead to me, and I'm just going to give the tickets to Silly Sauce.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why
Crazy.
is it so hard to say Leroy?
I don't know.
I don't think they know. They just called them for the tickets.
The old can't call in. Vic Fangio is apparently trying to get in on the action. What are you looking at, by the way, Leroy? You've been looking down for like 9 minutes.
I am.
Everything okay? You like ordering some DoorDash?
No, everything's cool. No, I'm not ordering anything. I forgot my password to something.
You got to reset.
You got
to reset.
You got to go through like
yeah.
And I'm a person that I use Face ID so much that when they actually ask me for the password, I'm like, whoa.
All right, Marcos.
Caller number 9. What do you have to say to Leroy?
Hey!
Wow.
All right, now I can get his information and feel like we did our job too.
All right, let's take a quick break. Back with more after this.
WQAM broadcast.
All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Take you up until 2 o'clock here on the program. It's good to have Marcos back in the fold today. Glad that things are all better after a long weekend at the pond. Did you guys get good flies?
Someone actually called me with a frog story and was like, "Do you know I think a frog gave birth in my pool because I see a bunch of tadpoles." And I was just more affected as to why they would call me with that. Why is that something that they'd call me? There's so many other people they could have called. So this is gaining traction, and I'm not necessarily pleased with that.
Do we think that Leroy fell asleep, or do we think that he's frozen right now?
No, he can hear you now.
Oh,
I'm trying to take care of brother. Look,
don't show us your computer.
I'm trying to get everything to their right.
I didn't know if you were watching another reenactment of like the brawl.
That was funny. Oh my goodness. Have you seen that, Marcos?
No, I haven't seen a reenactment.
It's hilarious.
But
I'm telling you, the thing that makes it hilarious is the commentary.
Yes.
The lady with the commentary, she is on point.
Did you see, Leroy? Richard Sherman is going to be Skip Bayless' co-host. How long do you think this is going to last? Does it see a second year?
No.
Oh, it's going to be good TV, though, dude.
Oh, it's going to be good TV. It's going to be good TV.
Here's the thing you have to understand is that athletes feel a certain way about certain things. And, like, I think the thing that makes us work is we may joke and laugh and play, but if I don't know something about MMA or boxing, I will call Tobin and ask him. Right? Like, I don't have a problem with letting people know that I'm not versed in that profession. I don't have a problem with that. The thing that I think Skip has a problem with is letting anybody feel that they're more knowledgeable about something than him. And he can't deal with. So in order to make bring Shannon Sharpe to his level, he basically disrespected the man's whole career.
Yes.
A Hall of Famer. Right?
Somebody says, didn't they get into it when Skip was at ESPN? Oh yeah, it's a famous interview. It's Richard Sherman said back when he just burst onto the scene and was becoming a star, he was telling Skip Bayless that I've already done more in my 24 years of life than anything you've done in life.
Yeah, I'm better at life than you.
I'm better at life than you. It was something. He cooked him.
Yeah. And honestly, Skip took that. Skip was like, okay, maybe so. I was like, all right. This should make for some good TV, but I'm gonna miss Shannon and Skip. Skip.
He's about to join up with Stephen A. Stephen A. admitted he's recruiting.
Nice. That'd be a good show too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because here's the difference though. There's respect.
I feel like it should be Stephen A., Shannon Sharpe, and Chris Mad Dogger. So.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Jeez. How about a check?
I don't think anyone would get anything done. Just be a lot of yelling over each other.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, I guess we'll look forward to that. I'm sure that'll start right up at football season. But that was something. I don't think he's like the permanent co-host. I saw that he's doing like 100 days of the show. So like, because he's staying on for Thursday Night Football and things like that, because he's not leaving Amazon. I tell you one thing though, that's a tough choice. Who would you rather sit next to, Ryan Fitzpatrick or Skip Bayless? A tough choice if you ask me. I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I'm the star of the show because I wear funny shirts.
Meanwhile, we have a Vice shirt Friday every Friday. You know?
He stole that.
He did steal that.
He stole it, dude. Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's his whole thing now. I wear wacky shirts. We did that first, dude.
Stole our style.
Ridiculous.
Stole our style.
Television, huh?
He stole our style, dude. I am tired of it with this whole guy. Enough of him already. So anyway, be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout this week for more tickets to give away.
I have the tickets.
All
Leroy
right.
is personally distributing the tickets.
No, I'm not personally distributing them. That's why
Leroy,
I'm having problems.
I'm a
with-
carnival barker.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do it, but I'm gonna save hours.
Got it.
See what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yes.
I don't want our tickets to get caught up in the
You don't want to get caught up in a kerfuffle, dude.
correct.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
It's not great. It's not great.
So I will do it this way. We are giving away 1, 2, 3. By the way, since we got everything organized here, and you got the information, Marcos,
Yes.
we're gonna give away 2 of these tomorrow.
Whoa, 2 family 4-packs?
Yes.
4-packs.
4-packs.
Jesus.
That's right. But at least listen. Don't all of a sudden. This is for the people that we love and appreciate that listen to us on the daily. I get you want the tickets. You got to play our stupid game.
Yeah, you got to play our game.
You got to play our stupid game.
You're gonna dance for
Everybody
it.
is down with it. You can't call it, then hang up and go, oof. No.
What did you say? I won? Yeah, Grandpa, go to hell.
If I don't hear a Leroy,
Yeah, that's it.
So what's it? They just said JP. I'm like, all right.
And
I mean,
we want to do that today in honor of JP, but we gonna find another way to do it tomorrow because JP is our guy.
yeah.
That was fun to interview there.
It was a fun interview. So much that if you missed it, coming up next.
Time to get into Hawk and Crowder's wheelhouse.
number 9, center field, joining us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors and one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. JP, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure to come on with you guys.
It's always great having you, JP. Do you anticipate a lot of Goosies and memories coming up on Friday, getting a chance to be with your old teammates and relive the World Series a little bit?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I always say once you retire or go on different teams and guys stop playing, you're around each other all the time, but everybody, Derek Lee lives in California, Beck is in you don't ever see guys, you know what I mean? So to come back and the baby to see guys under these circumstances too, to celebrate the 20th anniversary. It'll be a little Goosies going on, I would imagine.
Now, let me ask you this, because I know when I go back and see my former teammates, everybody talk about the seasons we had and accomplishments or whatever. But when we get in the room, we say, hey, remember that time? And the stories are told, they really got nothing to do with baseball. No. Or remember that time we was on the road and you just start telling stories and everybody wondered, man, I bet you they talking about that run.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Stuff that happens off the field, whether it was at the hotel or whatever, or in the locker room or clubhouse. Right. Whatever, those are the type of memories that you actually remember. Like you actually said, "Well, what play happened in the 5th inning?" Because a lot of times you do this stuff and the reports actually, I'm like, bro, I don't even remember that. You know what I mean? But I remember when we were in Cincinnati and shot basketball or something like that. Those are kind of stuff that probably will creep me more than the actual games that we played.
But that season in particular, like you guys had such a great turnaround in the middle of it. And, coincided with Dontrell and Miggy coming up and you guys getting Jack McKeon. Like, do you remember in particular, like feeling how you were coming out of spring training and when you felt like it really clicked for you guys?
Yeah, without a doubt. Out of spring training, we knew we were a younger team. I mean, the only established player like all-star perennial was Pudge, and everybody else was just trying to, find their way and stuff. So we knew we had a good team. We knew we had good pitching. When you have Beckett, Penny, Pavano, you knew you're going to be in every game, but we got off to such a slow start. And then, here comes the leg kick Dontrell. He boosts the pitching staff, and then Beckett started pitching better. Then we got the young phenom Miguel, and, walk-off home run, his first at-bat. So we're like, okay, wow. Then we had Jack come in. He was a grandpa, but he was because Jeff Teague was a great manager. But the difference was like Jack McKeon would kick you in your rear end when he had to. You know what I mean? That old school, smoking his cigars while walking. I'm like, Jack, how you going to exercise and smoke a cigar like that? To this day, it still gets me. But he would do that. But he got us going. And then we just gelled as a team. And then the series against Boston was probably the defining moment where, like, okay, we might have some. I think we lost like 25-6 the game before that. Then we were down like 8-3, like in the 8th inning. We come back and win that game 9-8 in Boston. And we were like, all right, we might have something here.
Yeah, I remember that there was a series against the Dodgers. You guys had like a couple of crazy walk. I remember Mordecai having a walk-off home run. I had season tickets that year. It was like the amount of walk-off home run shots you guys had. I remember Dontrell's, Juan Encarnacion had one on his. Yeah. And everybody knows about the Miggy one, but like you guys just had like that flair for the dramatic last year. And that made it like possible for like in those postseasons where you had the comeback against the Cubs and things like that. Like it must have felt like no matter the situation, once you guys got to the postseason, because you guys had that flair for the dramatic, that you could have handled that.
Yeah. And I'm probably biased to it because I lived it. But man, the run we had, I mean, I don't see too many teams going on a run like that out of nowhere, and like you said, the dramatic. We were playing playoff games from like August on, what I mean, or September on, because the wild card was all jumbled up right there, and you had Mordecai, you had Castro hit a walk off, and we were prepared for the playoffs. Like we knew we had a good team, even going up against Barry Bonds. We went up against Sammy Sosa and the mighty Yankees, and we felt in every series that we were in every game, like talent for talent, player by player, pitcher by pitcher. We were in every game, and the media never gave us a chance. So Jack did a great job with the media. Say, hey, we don't even supposed to be here. So we played loose. We played like we didn't have the pressure on us, but we went out there and did our thing.
Also, you had so many young players, nobody had any scar tissue.
Exactly.
That scar tissue get you.
We're just dumb enough to pull it off, you know. If we do it again the next year, we thought too much, you know. We knew what it took, but like we were just dumb enough to, in a sense, to pull it off because we were not scared. Like I remember walking in the Yankee Stadium, we're like, all right, boys, let's go get them. And you look across, you know, and they play before BP, they have the ghosts of, you know, Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth. They play all these clips, and we're like, all right, man, whatever. Like we about to put it on you guys, and that's what we did. Like we didn't say it outwardly, but inside we're like, man, we can post up against these guys.
Isn't it like what made that team so special and so rare is that everybody was so young. So during the whole course of the season, you know, the whole thought was these guys are young. They gonna break.
They gonna break.
And they gonna break. They're not used to. And then you get to the playoff. This is playoff. This is pennant chasing baseball. These young guys don't know nothing about that. And you're like, we're right. You're right. We don't. We just playing baseball.
We just playing base before the playoff game. We're probably back there shooting basketball or something like that, or Nerf ball or something like before the game. I mean, literally in the playoffs, we were doing the same thing we did during the season. Like it was no different. We're going into San Francisco, you know, Barry Bonds, San Francisco, you know, nothing but orange and black. And we get mollywopped our first game out there too. And I know I was personally like so amped. I'm like, I cannot calm down. I think I struck out like swinging off my knee. I'm like, what am I doing? But Gerald Williams and Lenny Harris, who was veterans on the team, pulled me. I was like, you too hype. I was like, I know, man. Like, I can't come. Yeah, they talked to me, and then, you know, I got back right because, you know, I took the pressure of being the leadoff guy. Like, all right, I'm in control of the offense. Like, if I get going, the offense will get going. So every loss that we had, if we didn't score runs, I always felt like it was my fault. So I wanted to set the tone, and I didn't set a good one that first game. I'm like, all right, next game, I got to set a better tone. And we did, but like you said, exactly. Like we really, like you were walking out clubhouse probably half an hour, 45 minutes before the game. You're like, do these guys got a game today? Like, do they really got a game? I think on the DVD, we had guys getting their haircuts, you know what I mean? Like an hour before the game. It was just, we're just young and we pulled for each other, but it was just, and playing after that, I realized how magical that season and the team was because I didn't get it back for the next 12 years.
Right.
Did you?
That happens, man.
JP, like, can you give us craziest Juan Pierre is a workaholic story? Because like the thought of like everybody else said JP always first one to the ballpark. You're rolling the damn balls on the grass to make sure you can bunt it the right way. Like you lived at that place, man. Like why did you have such an obsession of getting there so early to prep for a game?
Because that's what it was. It was preparation. I didn't consider like working hard. I knew like I was a $170, no arm strength, no power, none of these things. But my biggest thing was like nobody's gonna outwork me. You know what I mean? Nobody was gonna put in the work I did, and that's how I survived. I mean, you just mentioned like a Derek Lee. These guys are 6'6". You know what I mean? You mentioned Miguel Cabrera. These guys can hit the ball 500 feet. Like I knew I had to do all the small things. I had to pay attention to detail. And that's why I had a career that I had was just, purely I would outwork guys. I had skills and talent and I knew I could run. So I worked on the bunting. I knew I can field. I knew I didn't have a strong arm. So I worked on getting rid of the ball quick. These are things, the first thing they say in baseball is know thyself. Like know what type of player you are. And I knew what type of player I was. And it was just, I wouldn't say obsessed with it, but that was a close thing. But it was.
Yeah, you admit it. You can't say I wasn't and just smile.
Yeah, but it was like having the pressure of like I always felt like I carried the team, and I wasn't a big name guy. Like nobody interviewed me, you know what I mean? After a game, I wasn't that big name guy. But you go. A teammate to teammate, they're like, oh, Louis and Juan gets on. Hey, we got to get him off the – you know what I mean? So, like, pressure –
set the tone.
Set the tone, but, not media-wise. And I always like doing the dirty work. Like, I always love that. Like, I'll get on base, still sitting, and the guy knocks me in. They go interview the guy with the RBI. I'm like, all right, great. You can have that shine. I'm just going to post up every day. As long as I have respect for my teammates, then that's all that matters to me.
Talking to Juan Pierre here on WQAM, and you guys can see JP. He's going to be out there at the Marlins Museum doing some photo ops. Mike Lowell's going to be out there, Jeff Conine, Josh Beckett, a lot of the greats from the 2003 Marlins team. JP, of course, the leadoff man, had the high socks, stealing bases, like just had a complete swag to it. And you even JP, you mentioned you weren't interviewed after games, but remembering just you had the hypest, walk up song right to start off to the game. You really did get the fans amped up. I do feel the fan base did embrace you because of the type of energy you brought. Was that something that you were also conscious of that I don't know, just to get the fans almost involved with the excitement that you played with?
That was the most shocking part of it. All the I played on 6 different teams, and no other fans embraced me like the Miami fans did. Like they used to talk about me bunting, and usually that doesn't even get a take or nothing. But the fans, this is the first place I came where people wore my jerseys and stuff. I'm like, man, dude, I'll sign it. Come down. I don't care if you're in the triple deck. If I saw my jersey, I'm like, bro, come down here. I'll sign it. Ain't too many of them things flying around here and stuff. So the Miami fans really, really embraced my type of style of play. Me and Louis working together, we're, stealing the bases, playing the small ball. And that was the dynamic of our team too. Our power guys, Derek Lee and Canard, those guys stole 20 bases too. We had speed and power on our team, but it was definitely fun. And I did take hold of that. Still to this day, I'll go somewhere, I'll be in Walmart, and somebody be like, JP, we ready? You know what I mean? A walk-up song. I'm like, yeah, baby, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, I got so much love in Miami. And I'm just trying to be that table setter and not looking for the recognition. But again, the fans in Miami have definitely showed me love and continue to this day. If I'm around town or whatever, we remember the 03 team, you know what I mean? So it's cool to see.
You have you been keeping tabs on this year's team at all? They got off to such a hot start. They're in a bit of a rut right now. When you're a team kind of going through it, you can't seem to drive guys in key situations. What's the best way to get out of something like this, JP? What do you think this secret sauce this team may need to get back on track?
Just keep pushing. There's no secret sauce or nothing. You just keep doing the work that you've been doing all year and just trust in your work. I think we was in September or August, late August, in our 03 run. We went on a road trip, I think San Fran, Pittsburgh, and somewhere else. But we went 1-9 on the road trip. And this is late in the year. And nobody was panicking. I think actually Jeffrey Leroy was flying back from San Francisco to Pittsburgh. And we got swept in San Fran, just playing bad. So we in the plane and we feel the plane going down. We ain't near Pittsburgh. It's a 5-hour flight. It's oh no, we're stopping in Vegas. I'm like, stopping in Vegas? So we stopped in Vegas for 3 hours. I don't even gamble. So I had no, I was probably the only one excited that we didn't do it. So we stopped in Vegas for 3 hours because we had an off day in Pittsburgh. And then we ended up flying to Pittsburgh just to get our minds off of it and, try to play better. And I think we went to Pittsburgh and got swept too. So I don't think
trying to shake it up.
Pittsburgh got swept and all the boys was broke from gambling.
Hey, you supposed to be telling us the turnaround moment.
Yeah, there was no turnaround.
Hey, you gave us the moment where you almost got buried.
Exactly. But things were in our favor because I think we went 1-9 on that road trip. And I think Phillies, which was behind us, they went 0-9, so we picked up a half a game.
Amazing.
Yeah, picked up a half a game on a 1-9 road trip. So, hey, we knew something was working right then, man.
JP, obviously over the weekend, there was a crazy baseball fight. Tim Anderson got socked by Jose Ramirez. I feel bad for Tim because he got double the suspension than Jose did. He got 6 games. Jose got 3. What was your reaction to this crazy fight this weekend?
Oh, I was like, man, that's old school baseball. Back even before my time, you'll see 2 of those a week back in the day. You know what I mean? Just old school game, guys getting after it a little bit. I don't necessarily condone it because, I got kids and all that stuff now. But, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But the biggest thing with that is seeing who really got your back on the team. Usually that type of stuff can bring a team together and realize hey, we got each other back. We're gonna do whatever. But yeah, it was a good old fashioned fight. I don't think we've seen a punch like that since when was
he was punching for real.
Yeah. Bautista and what was the Odor?
Oh yeah, that was a crazy one.
Yeah, connection on the punch. Usually makers and guys get in there before even punches get thrown. But that was they squared off. Like
So,
they,
JP, I was
Yeah.
telling Tobin, he ain't got to worry about the suspension. That dude cannot go back into that locker room after starting a fight and getting knocked out.
yeah, that's
He ain't
the
gonna never leave. He ain't gonna never.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna never live that. Like he ain't got to worry about the league.
Yeah.
His own team ain't gonna never let him live that down.
teammates and all around the league, man. Then like now you got social media added to it, so it's yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Definitely starting a fight, but I mean he'll rebound. You know, I love Tim Anderson. I do love his game. I know he gets the bad rap a lot, but I think he's a good dude deep down, and but definitely that was and unfortunately that's what leads when we have fights. Because baseball, you know, it's usually football, basketball, and first take all these shows, but baseball get a fight going, and then that'll get everybody talking about stuff.
Is there one, either one? I mean, I don't remember you ever getting involved in a fight, like you starting a fight, but is there one you remember either one of your teams getting in, or one that like, or as close as it could get to one of the famous baseball stare downs that you remember, where you thought it was?
I tell you one thing, like I was playing with the Rockies at this point. Well, I just got called up maybe a month in the league, and we was playing the Braves, and this was like Andres Galarraga, Chipper Jones, Andrew, like these dudes, Javi Lo, like these dudes are huge. So we had a pitcher that hit the big cat, Andres Galarraga, and he was staring at him, and he told the big cat, "Hey, get down to first base." And the big cat went after. I had never been in a fight ever on the field, like ever. So I'm in center field. I got Larry walking right. I think Ron Gannis in left. So the big cat charges the mound. So I'm like, I don't know what to do here. You know what I mean? I look like
$170.
Yeah,
that's the big cat.
Yeah, I'm like Larry Walker here. So they throw their gloves down. They take out running. So I throw my glove down. So I'm taking out running. I like to the pile, and these dudes all like 6'4" here. I'm like 5'10", $160 maybe. So I'm like, I ain't getting nowhere near this stuff. So they were like throwing haymakers and breaking up. So I saw like little Rafael Furcal was the shortstop. He like my size. So I'm like, all right, I'll stand by him in case something pop off. I got to get him. But I ain't trying to mess with Chipper and Andrew and all. Yeah,
you stand in your weight class?
Stand in my weight class. But I said, know thyself. You got to know thyself.
Like,
I wasn't trying to get in with none of these guys, but yeah, that's the bro. I think we had one bro like in 2005 with the Marlins. I think Alex Gonzalez actually fought. We were playing the Phillies, but they broke that one up pretty quick. But nothing like a good old fashioned brawl though. Get the juices flowing, you know what I mean? Break up the monotony. I think.
JP, you're awesome, man. We appreciate all the memories, how hard you worked. I know the fans can't wait to go see you Friday at the Marlins Museum, photo ops with Juan Pierre and a lot of the greats from the 2003 team. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you, man. Anytime you need me on, man, I'm here for you guys.
There you go. Juan Pierre, number 9, center field, 2003 champion. I love that guy, man.
Hey,